Welcome back to another episode of The Perspective. I'm your host, Brooklyn 80s, back with another episode of The Perspective, another good episode of The Perspective. We are live here today, people. And we're going to get into the Caitlin Clark, Chennedy Carter situation. Obviously, Chennedy Carter recently just explained her side of the story on a podcast to a streamer. So I'm gonna give you my perspective on it. You know, I always try to give a unique perspective. I always try to bring something a little bit different. But before we get into that, listen, if you're a first time viewer, if you're watching this channel for the first time, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button. We talk all things women basketball over here. You know what I'm saying? We trying to create a new wave. You get what I'm saying? I'm big on men's basketball too. Don't get it twisted. That's coming sometime in the future. But right now, I want to give women's basketball the proper attention, the proper light. You feel me? So right now, we focusing on women's basketball, right? I see some people already pulled up in the chat. Fast says, let's get it. What's good, Fast? Miss D says, hey, Brooklyn. What's good, Miss D? Pro Fan Talk says, where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? It's good, Pro Fan Talk. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get a little bit into that situation, and we're gonna talk about some other things as well. Before we get into all that, let the people pile in here. So we can have a proper conversation. But for the people that's viewing, that's watching right now, how was everybody's day? You get what I'm saying? I like to start there. How was everybody, how's everybody week going so far? Before we get into the particulars. But yeah, we're going to talk about a few things today, though. I want to congratulate Deja Kelly. Deja Kelly didn't get drafted, but she got picked up on a training camp contract by the Aces. So I was excited to see that. Deja Kelly is one of my favorite players. She's one of the more popular players. She's a player that the Wnba need. That, she's definitely marketable. RC in basketball says salute, my brother. Paige says, hey, Brooklyn, what's going on, Paige? How you feeling today, Paige? Yes, I want to shout out Deja Kelly. Apparently, Lexi Brown says... She says she got traded just because she wanted a new practice facility. Gotta be careful what you wish for the WNBA and get you traded. Pro Fan Talk says, I hope Deja Kelly doesn't get lost in the sauce. Absolutely, Pro Fan. One thing I noticed about Vegas, if you want to keep your spot, you got to defend. You gotta defend. So hopefully she comes in and I know you don't like this word unless they earn it, but hopefully she comes in and she she's a dog on the defensive end. That's what she's gonna have to be to keep her job. She's definitely a good floor general, good mid-range shooter. She's gonna have to extend that to the three, but what's gonna keep her job is gonna be what she does on the defensive end on the floor for the Aces. They trying to win a championship. RC in basketball says, Ken worried about the wrong stuff at this point. I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, I'm one of the first people to say, I'm a Chennedy Carter supporter, but I'm also one of the people to say Chennedy Carter also gets in her own way a lot. You know what I'm saying? RC in basketball says, you think Deja Kelly really gonna make the Aces roster ahead of Harmony Turner? I think Aaliyah nah. I mean, I don't know. Put it to you like this, RC. I don't know how many roster spots they have available. I'm assuming all three of them can make it. But that's with me not looking at the roster. Now we can look at the roster in a second and see how many open spots they have. But I think Aaliyah Nye is definitely gonna make it because she's stepping into a role that Alicia Clark left. They need her to play that small ball power forward role. So Aaliyah Nye is definitely gonna make the roster unless she doesn't play well. But I don't foresee that happening. Harmony Turner to me is one of the most, if not the most underrated guard in the draft. So she definitely, to me, is going to make the roster, and she's going to play a significant role off the bench. 5'10", 5'11" frame. She could step right into that Tiffany Hayes role, that tip role, right? She could take that role over if she plays well. Deja Kelly is somebody who is able to make the roster, though. So if all three of them can make it, I think Deja Kelly will make it. But if it's a competition, then unfortunately she probably will be the odd woman out. But I think she'll make the roster if there's a roster spot there for her. We got a pro fan talks and a pro fan hoops. I got to fight for the name. Got you in 2 spots, Brooklyn. Okay, that's the same person. Okay. I'll just say, they're just trying to take my man name. Wody Mag says, pause. I got pauses. I don't know where you going with this. I got pauses before I even read it. He says, left cheek, right cheek. Pause. That's that crazy. Shay Sharp a freak. Uncle Shay in 5. Salute, BK. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Shannon Sharp going through some shit. I know he got recordings and all that online. I haven't really paid attention to it because I really ain't care about it. But yeah, he going through something right now. But Paul's left cheek, right cheek, though. That's crazy. Campbell says, what's up, my brother? RC Basketball says, we too, me too, she too. She 19, 22, lady in 5. Let me stop. Yeah, crazy with the nursery rhymes. Pro Fan Talk says Pro Fan Hoops is my all hoops channel. Got you. Okay. Got an all hoops channel, all football channel. I feel you. That's smart. You know what I mean? Get this money. You feel me? Get this money. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about that Deja Kelly. I'm happy for her. Aaliyah Del Rosario is on my favorite. This might be my favorite college team, y'all. I really like the Vanderbilt Commodores. I really like that team, and they just picked up Aaliyah Del Rosario. I don't know how much minutes she's gonna get. Obviously, if she went there to play. She's a big. So we're gonna finally see if she's any good. She was buried on LSU. Yeah, Vandy. She was buried on LSU. So we're gonna see if she get minutes, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for her about that move for her if she gets minutes. I'm a little disappointed. And the news. Well, I said it like that. The news. I'm a little disappointed in the news that I'm hearing from Notre Dame, which is nothing. Like I really like what's the girl name escaping me now? Cabbage Patch. Man, what's this girl name? Y'all know I'm talking about. I can't think of her name right now for whatever reason. I got her face in my mind. I can't think of her name, but I really like the point guard for Notre Dame, man, and everybody. Hidalgo, thank you, Anna Hidalgo. I don't know why I couldn't remember her name for the life of me, but I really like her game, and I want to see a team be built around her now, where she's a primary point guard. I'm not hearing no news, so I'm a little disappointed in that. I want to see them build back up. Maybe they're gonna build back up with a freshman class or something. I don't know, but I need to see them build back up. RC and Basketball says, who has a better record, Sky or Fever? Honestly, the Fever. You know, they got a veteran team. Is there no reason why they don't have a great record. Sky is still, I think, one player away before they could really be out here making noise. I think Sky is going to surprise a lot of people and win games because they're going to be a really good defensive team and they're going to get bored. So I think they're going to win some games people not expecting them to win. But I think Fever's going to have a better record overall, though. But with that said, we just might win that season series, though. Don't be surprised if we win the season series versus the Fever. Wody Max says, that's the joke going around on Gil's Arena chat, the left cheek thing. Oh, okay, that's what they made it up there. They got paused themselves over there. That's a pause-worthy joke. You know what I mean? Like, all jokes shouldn't be. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. RC in basketball says, Aaliyah Chavez dropped to number 3 on the best high school ballers list. Jazzy and Sienna's ahead of her now. Okay, those are 2 people who I don't know, so I gotta look them up. Gotta look up Jazzy and Sienna. So thanks for letting me know that, RC. Gamble says, Kim making me second guess her basketball development. I mean, I said that already. You know what I mean? I already said it's hard to speak to, hardcore fans of these teams, whether you are LSU fan or whether you are a South Carolina fan. Sometimes they don't want to be, they don't want to hear the critique of people that they like. But I said that on one of my other shows that I think Kim Mulkey is a winner, and I think she has a lot of she does a lot of things well. But the one thing I feel like she don't do well is prepare her. I don't think she prepare her players well for the positions that they play. She does a great job of getting the most out of her players, so I give her that. She does a really great job of that. But I don't think she does a great job of setting players up for success for the positions that they're going to play on the next level. I don't really see that as a skill set of hers, but that's okay because everybody is not perfect. Everybody don't have a perfect skill set, right? I think what Kim Mulkey is great at, she's really great at, right? And one of the things she's lacking is preparing her players for the next level, right? If you're a point guard and you want to learn a point guard position, Kim Mulkey is not the right place to go, right? If you are undersized player, but you play big, Kim Mulkey is gonna allow you to play a game, but she's not gonna prepare you to play the position you're gonna play on the next level. If you look at Angel, you look at Anissa, both things is true for them. Angel had to develop on her own, which you as a player you should develop on your own. But Angel had to develop on her own, leaving LSU. She didn't get that knowledge at LSU, and I think the same thing is gonna happen for Anissa. I think Anissa is gonna become a better player even than she was in college in the W, because she's gonna learn how to have those guard skills that she wasn't really taught at LSU. She's gonna be an even better player, I feel. RC in basketball says Notre Dame and Iowa have done absolutely nothing. That's a fact. Nothing, nada, zilch. That's a Snapple top fact, Brody. And Iowa, I kind of expected them to cool off because it's like, respectfully, no disrespect to Iowa and the Iowa fans out there. How many people really want to go to Iowa? You get what I'm saying? They're going to have to find another hometown product, or they just going to have to find a player who's just looking for a place where they can shine. But Notre Dame, I don't know. That's surprising to me. Notre Dame need to do something quick. Chavez is overrated. Special L, I think you meant Special K. Cooked her. She was ranked high. Yeah, Special K is nice. RC of basketball says Gamble, Chavez overrated. Never. LOL. I feel like people don't know what they want from her. Do they want her to shoot 26 times and score 32 points, or dish 6 or 7 assists and score in the teens? Bodie Max says, on a serious note, if the Liberty and the Lynx are the faves and the media thinks the Vets added to the Fever. Oh, okay. Media thinks the Vets added to the Fever put them in the top 5 contention. If anyone thinks a team wins the season series, he wrote continued. I guess he got more to say. He got more to say. then that same said team winning the season series should be a championship contender. Not necessarily. Sometimes you just got a team number. So it's like certain teams match up with certain teams really well. But I get what you're saying. RC in basketball says, yeah, bro, Jasmine Jazzy Davison is the number 1 ranked player in high school basketball. She will be at USC this upcoming. Oh yeah, I did hear about her. I did hear about Jazzy and Sienna Betts. Okay, that's Lauren. So I heard about her too. Lauren Betts' little sister. I heard about her too. Profan Talk says, what are the chances Malaysia ends up with Moki? A report came out a couple days ago about that happening, and then Malaysia hopped on social media and said that's all bullshit. So we'll see. Everybody knows I'm vocal about Malaysia going down there to Notre Dame to play with Hannah. I feel like that'll be an interesting backcourt. But I wouldn't be mad at LSU either if she went to LSU. It'll be an interesting, and then probably her road to the Final Four would be a lot easier probably with LSU. So Brody Max says, and the Fever only get that nod by media because Howard and Bonner got rings already. Even said Colson. That's a fact. Gamble says, I follow girls AAU ball. I coach and still be in the mix, but I've seen her play multiple times. She's good, but not number 1. She shoots that much in her high school team. Special K is better. Okay. RC says, Profan Talk. Salute, bro. What up? And all I keep hearing is Malaysia to LSU, but I don't know how true this could be. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. She got to make a decision, I believe, by the 26th. I think the 26th is the deadline. Gamble says, but not a senior. I think that's what he was saying. Anybody know or Gamble? What's Special K real name? So I think it's Kalina or something like that. It's Kalina Smith or something. I gotta look it up. I don't want to lie to you. RC in basketball says Washington Mystics need to start Georgia Amore. I think they will start Georgia Amore. I think that's a foregone conclusion. Jay Melbourne is cool, but Amore can be the immediate. Yeah, I think Amore just got a little bit more wiggle to her, a game. So I think she will start. We'll see though. I think all those rookies got a good chance of starting. Not all of them, because I'm forgetting about the second round. And shout out to the Mystics. A lot of people forgetting about their second round picks. They got Lucy Olsen, and they got damn, this girl name is escaping me right now, from Alabama. Zay Green. They got Zay Green. They made some solid picks for the future. So not bad people to build around. Bodie Mack says, have you taken time to watch any EuroLeague games? I've been trying. I haven't been able to, but I've been trying to catch them. I'll be forgetting for real. Kalia Smith. I don't think it's Kalia Smith. I think it's like Kalina. I think it's Kalina or something like that. Don't cute. I don't know what you're saying. My spelling. Don't cut my spelling. I don't know what that is. Profan Talk says RC basketball. We will see. I have thoughts on Kennedy. That Neon interview was useless in my opinion. Let me drop the link. I dropped the link. I had sent you the link, Profan, in your IG, but I sent it here. It was easier for you. Bodie Mack on YouTube says, chat, tell the truth. Michaela Timpson looked like a cousin to Gorilla, right? You stupid. I said that a minute ago, seeing her for the first time. Gamble says facts. Coach, what's going on, my brother?
What's good?
Ain't not much. What's your thoughts on what's your Kennedy thoughts?
Hold on.
Why he
Close my office door. I don't make my wife mad. Man, listen. I did a whole video on the Chennedy Carter thing. Here's my thing. It didn't, in my opinion, it didn't make her look bad or anything like that. It just didn't do her any favor.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion, that was. I'm sure somebody told her like, "Yo, this dude got 890,000 subscribers. He can get your visibility up and stuff like that." If she was going in it for that purpose, then mission accomplished. But as far as that whole conversation was uncomfortable. It looked like he struck me as the type of dude that is not used to talking to women at all. Just his.
You want to
just
know
the way
what?
he was going about it.
Hold that thought, because I want you to finish, because I actually queued up the video. So we're gonna play the video, and then I want you to give your thoughts on the video.
Yeah.
Let me pause the music. Over here. Let's pause the music.
That's facts. So what
you want to know though? This is your stream.
Okay, so what was like the response after that happened? I saw the clip. What was like the internet's response? And they're all saying facts.
Oh my gosh, it was just crazy. Like ESPN Sports Center, blam, blam, blam. Just reporters saying vulgar, crazy things towards me. Just a lot of just disrespect. But I mean, it comes with being a black female athlete, you know,
like you
at the
targeted?
top of the game. No. I mean, I feel like I'm one of the best players in the world, so I think that comes with it, you know.
Facts. And your stats.
And if you didn't know, you know, like I said, it's a new generation. That's how you can tell. Like back in the day, the W was a little bit different. New fans coming in, you may know, you may not know. Now you do, you know. I'm one of those ones. I'm really like that.
How long have you been in the WNBA for?
4 years. When I first came, I was drafted to the Atlanta Dream. When I first came in, played a little bit, did okay, went to the Sparks. Then I played with the Sky. I had the best season of my life last season.
I saw the stats. You're like that. You're like that. And you play, that's the Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So then you're on the team with Angel Reese.
Yeah, Barbie.
Oh, are y'all very close?
Yeah, she's a great person, man.
That's amazing.
I love Angel.
That's amazing. You know, I've talked to some NBA players, and they say, how is it like in the WNBA, like when it comes to like teammates? Is everyone very close, or is it more like a business? Because I've heard different stories from NBA players.
You know, they just had this league down here called Arrival, and I think it was a great way for everybody to get closer, get to know each other.
Okay.
I think team-based, like when I was playing in Chicago, there was a lot of like partying, going out, and things like that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard during the season when you're traveling and stuff, but I think like that was the first really opportunity for girls to like really chill, kick it, make a lot of money and get to know each other, because it's really crazy hectic during the season. So yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Should ask if she thinks WNBA players should be paid the same as NBA players.
I think it's coming. Just stay tuned. I think it's coming.
WNBA is blowing up. Numbers wise, like on ESPN, everything. Like I feel like in general, like basketball is coming. I feel like the live viewership is so much less, but the social media interaction is so much more. Can you break down that situation that happened?
Yeah, it was just like a nice little like tap, like I'm here. I think a play before, maybe I was elbowed. Okay, that happens. Then maybe there was like a little clip of somebody like yelling in my face. And then we go down the court. Then I hit like a little bucket, you feel me? Come down, hit like a little nice little mid-range pull-up. And then I just like, you know, just give her like a little like I'm here. It happens in basketball, and like it's just one of those things. But like, yeah, it's kind of what happened. Then it spiraled out of control. It's one of those things. I'm a great player. She's a great player. It looks a certain way. Everybody's gonna have their views on it. But my personal view is, you know, I don't have anything against her. She's a great player, and so am I. And I've got buckets all that season. You know what I'm saying? So just one of those things that I love it though. They think I hate it. I love it. I love when it gets riled up and juicy like that.
You feed off of like what people say and shit, and it makes you more motivated.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Oh yeah, I love the hate. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there you got it, Coach. What you?
Yeah. See,
thoughts?
let me be honest. I didn't see that part. That wasn't the interview that I saw. That's because I went to his website and watched it.
Yeah.
That was something later. You know, they were on McDonald's. So maybe
Say that
that,
ag- I'm sorry. Say that again. I think the music started drowning you out, so I didn't hear what you said about.
I didn't see that part of the
Yeah,
interview,
yeah,
and I watched it on his website, on his YouTube channel.
yeah.
So the first part of it, when they was playing hoops against each other, and that part where they were sitting in the chairs, like he came across as somebody that I thought like he from that nerd culture. He ain't used to being around women like that.
Facts. I got
You
that
could
too.
tell some of the stuff that he was saying. Like at one point, he was talking as like, "Oh, you got hazel eyes," and
Oh, I didn't
it
see
was
all
like,
that. I missed
I was
all that
like,
part.
"What?" It just like out of the blue, he's like, what did he say? He said, well, just to let you know, like some of these guys are in the chat, like they're horn dogs. So
Yeah, I saw that. I cut that
know,
out the video. I saw that part.
he was like, so she's a WNBA player. Put some respect on her name, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I saw that.
all right. I was like, whatever. And then at the towards the end, you showed this one part, and I was like, clearly, he does not watch the W at all.
Yeah, of course not. No.
You talking to Chennedy Carter, and then you. So wait a minute, you in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, clearly he don't watch the sport.
Yeah, he don't know
watch
what's going on.
WNBA.
But that's most people. That's gonna be most people. Most
Right.
people covering the sport now is gonna be people who don't really watch it.
Yeah, but you got to come a little bit harder than that, though.
Yeah.
And I just think if you're gonna be in a situation like that, where you got a lot of eyes on you, you got to have a game plan for that.
Facts.
At least that's how I see it. Because she need every opportunity that she can get.
Yeah.
She had a clear op. Now, if I would have heard that last part that you played,
Yeah.
I still think she should have went in a different direction. But that's me. But I like what she said there.
The last part was a little bit better. It made
a little
it
bit better. A little bit.
I
better.
agree. I agree with you. My feeling of it, of what I saw, is kind of what you said. I don't feel like this hurt her or helped her. Maybe it helped her a little bit because I think, you know what I think helps her? Not necessarily what she said. I think the time, time heals all wounds. I think in the moment when it happened, people was furious, right? Especially because, all right, so here's the thing. If you play football, coach, so you understand what being hit is like. You get what I'm saying? A lot of us who played sports or just played outside or just ran around and hit each other. And when I say hit each other, I don't mean physically, like, punched each other. But if you just got bumped around, you understand what you. First of all, a lot of people don't notice. You don't learn this until you get in your first fight or the first time you take a punch. You don't realize what you can actually take. Before you fight, you be afraid, right, to get hit, and then the first time you take a punch, you go, "Oh, that wasn't that bad." Like, I can handle that, right? Like you learn. That's what you learn about yourself. When as a person who played basketball growing up every day, coach, when I look at that Caitlin Clark hip check that Kennedy gave her, it's not enough, and I hope Caitlin Clark fans understand what I say when I say this, right? Because I'm talking about the Clarkies, the one that's you can't say nothing negative about it. They're gonna get mad. I hope they understand what I say when I say this. That bump that Caitlin Clark got wasn't enough to make her fall. She sold that, and that's what basketball players do. I'm not knocking Caitlin Clark for that.
I don't even think she sold it. I think the only reason she fell was because she was not expecting it. Period.
And look, that part I disagree with. Because look, coach, and this is what I challenge everybody to do. Even if you're not paying good, stand with your back, pause to a person. Have them come bump you the same way Chennedy Carter did. You're not gonna hit the ground.
That's fair.
You're gonna take 2 or 3 steps. That bump is enough to make you stumble. But it's not enough. But listen, hold on. Let me give you my point of view, right? Let me give my point of view. So the reason why I'm saying that is because if you know basketball, and then again, I'm not saying this as a knock to Caitlin Clark, because they got LeBron is the biggest person on earth. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's a clip floating around right now. I think it was the last game LeBron played in where he hit the ground. Somebody bumped him. He hit the ground. He's like this, and he peeks up to see what's going on real quick. You get what I'm? So my point is, this is normal. Like if you know sports, you're gonna sell calls. That's not so. I don't feel like Caitlin Clark did nothing wrong with selling it. I'm not saying that as a knock to her because she sold it. What I'm saying is, if you know basketball, the people who know basketball don't really look at that like a big deal. It's not like the people who don't, like, if you never played sports before or if you never really got hit growing up in your life, you look at that like, oh my God, she could have got hurt. Right, like her life was in danger, and it's like it wasn't. Right, like for people who played before and got hit and been outside, no, that's regular. Like people get hit and cheap shot and all the time. So that's why I said I think time heals all wounds, because I think in the moment the people who didn't really realize that it wasn't a big deal, the people who did take it like, oh my God, she could get hurt. It was like it was a shock to them. And I think now with some time going past and they see Caitlin done played a full season, right? She's fine. She's healthy. She's strong. She's good with it. And if you know Caitlin, she gives it back, right? And listen, I just put out a video just now before I started this live. People going to see it. I broke down how Caitlin was actually the aggressor through most of the game.
Kennedy plays before that.
Right, couple plays before that. Where Kennedy went wrong is, and again, this is Kennedy fault, right? This is basketball 101. You supposed to know when to retaliate. Kennedy retaliate. It was wrong place, wrong time for Kennedy for her retaliation.
If she would have done that when the ball was in play, we would not be having a conversation. When
the ball was in play, not only when the ball was in play, what most basketball players do is they do something in the motion of a layup or in the motion where the ref don't know what's happening, right? Again, you sell it. You got to sell your get back. You got to sell it. Like, oh, I'm just going for the layup, but I'm really elbowing you right now. I'm really throwing an elbow at you, but I'm going up for the layup. That's what Kennedy should have did. And so Kennedy got to take, she was wrong for that, and she got to take ownership in that, right? But my challenge to the people out there who say, oh, this is why Kennedy is out the league and she shouldn't be in the league, and a lot of people say, oh, well, she got an attitude problem. I see all this online, right? My challenge to them is, well, we got to keep the same energy on both sides, because I seen Caitlin do it to other players too. So if Caitlin did it to other players, do you still feel that same way? Right?
Because they're not gonna feel that same way.
They're not gonna feel that same way.
Kennedy
right?
don't make that much money.
But no, I meant Kate. Did I say Kennedy? I meant Caitlin.
No.
Caitlin
what I'm saying is Kennedy don't generate that much
Got
money.
you. No, you're absolutely right. No, but my point in even saying that is, like I said originally, I don't think what neither one of them did. I don't think with the stuff that Caitlin does to people or the things that Kennedy did to Caitlin, I don't think that's enough to warrant you not having a contract, right? And when I take a look at when I take a look at the men's league, I see people like Draymond, who's done some egregious thing, who got a contract. I see people like Jimmy Butler, right? They say Chennedy Carter is a cancer in the locker room or whatever the case may be. Well, Jimmy Butler he done wild. It's
been a cancer.
Right. It's legendary stories about Jimmy Butler in the locker rooms, right? And he still playoff. We still focus on him as playoff Jimmy, because we love what you do well, right? We love what you can help our team doing. So my point is, there's people out there who've done things that's worse than what Kennedy, and that's the men's game. I could take it to the women's game for you. I'm new.
Alyssa Thomas.
You knew Alyssa Thomas, but you knew just as well as I'm new. So maybe you know about this, maybe you didn't, maybe you heard about this like me. But I heard Diana Taurasi broke a door after a loss or something happened. She done broke a door in the locker room.
Yeah.
Right?
The bottom line is that had, even though the optics were bad, because that was at the height of everybody's going after Caitlin.
Exactly.
But then again, that just showed the people that didn't actually watch basketball. But in my opinion, the reason why Chennedy Carter can't get with a team is because because of whatever happened in the locker room in Chicago. Not with what happened with Caitlin Clark, not the bump. It was whatever happened in that locker room.
But look, I'm a agree, but slightly disagree with you though, Coach, because I think what people missing is the only reason why Chennedy Carter was back on the team was because of Weatherspoon. She was blackballed before this, so I think
she got a track record.
I think people was pissed off. I think GMs was pissed off that Weatherspoon gave her another shot. Right, because without Weatherspoon, she would have been blackballed. I think it goes deeper.
She didn't take advantage of it either.
She did.
She took advantage of it on the court.
On the court, she did.
off the
But
court,
you're right. You're right. She
yourself.
didn't. And that brings what you just said, Coach, brings us back to this interview, because she could have did so much more with this interview than what she did. Because to me, I'm not mad at the nonchalant attitude she took. Okay, I get it. Right? That's what professionals gonna do. It's competitive. I'm great. She great. Da. But you got to understand how you look right now to GMs. Right now, forget how great you are. You selling yourself to the league. You selling yourself to GMs and saying, hey, all she should have been saying, because everybody watching, is, yo, I'm here to work. All I want to do is work. All I want to do is help a team win a championship. Yeah, I bumped Caitlyn. I was wrong for that. I should have did. I mean, she could have explained it and said, hey, listen, Caitlyn did this to me and I did that. I was wrong for how I retaliated. I should have, did something different. I should have handled it differently.
Though. I thought she said it right. She said she's a competitor. I'm a competitor. I ain't got no problem with. I was that was perfect.
I agree. Listen, we agreeing on that. My point, and I think you agree with this, is not she did do that okay, but you had so much room to do better. Yeah. Right? If to me, I wouldn't be mad. She should have this was a perfect opportunity for her to have somebody write up what she needed to say. Just say this
over that interview.
Yeah, she should have just somebody should have just wrote something for her and just said, just say this, because this is the message people want to hear from you. Like, not us. Fuck how we feel as fans, because we can't get her in the league, right? Fuck how other players feel. Well, not really, because you got to get other players that want to play with you. But you really speaking to the GMs. You really speaking to the GMs of the W and saying, hey, I learned from my mistakes. I know what I did wrong. I want to come in. I want to be a team player. All I want to do is share the ball and win. Like, that's all they want to hear, because right now, remember, this is a narrative thing we in. The narrative on her is that she just want to be, she the show. She don't want to come in and share the ball and play with other people. So that should have been her message. Like, yo, I just want to come in. I want to win.
Curious
for any organization.
Who said that? I'm curious who set that interview up.
Yeah, because I think it's her people.
I think it's her people. She didn't have no clue who Neon was, and he didn't know who she was.
I hope I'm sounding decent, yo. First of all, salute.
Yeah, you sound good.
Marcus. Yeah. So I just took the liberty of scrolling through Neon, because I've never really heard of the gentleman. So Chennedy Carter is his very first WNBA player that he's interviewed, which salute to him. For the first WNBA player he interviewed, it just so happens to be Chennedy Carter. But I mean, I don't know how much either one of y'all familiar with this brother. Just going to his oldest videos. He started as a 2K streamer, right? And after years,
he's been around for a minute.
8 years. I'm looking. He goes back 8 years. Then migrated to Fortnite, and I guess he had a viral moment on Fortnite breaking shit, right? And that probably helped blow him up. But otherwise, all that to say, right? Again, who set up this interview? I don't know, but it seems like he's like a hotspot for interviews with celebrities, like B-list celebrities for the most part. Except I did see he had Antonio Brown on there. I don't know how.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Ryan Garcia. Again, depending on who you ask, some of these people's names, like Ryan Garcia, so on and so forth. Some people may know them, but yeah, he seems to be like a hotspot for like mid-level celebrities. You know what I'm saying?
Pro gamers and stuff.
Yeah.
Celebrities that still game. So
yeah,
good point. Listen, like I said, I think to me, if I had to guess, my best guess is Chennedy people. Like, I don't even think Chennedy wanted to do this. I think Chennedy people said this would be a good look for you. Go on here. He's a high profile streamer. Go in there and talk about it. Go in there and because a lot of streamers do this. A lot of women basketball players go to these people and they say, let's play one-on-one, right? And it's like that's a look too. Oh, because a lot of people don't think girls can play ball. So then the girls get their look and they win the game, and then they sit down and did the little interview. So I think this was Chennedy people saying, let's do this, but I think it was a lazy job. I don't, like you said, Coach, I don't think it was terrible. I don't think it was a bad look for Chennedy, but I just think she could have did so much more with it. Had they prepared better, I think she could have did a lot more for her public image. You get what I'm saying? But I do agree with you. I don't feel like it was necessarily a bad look. The people that I saw reacting to it, a couple people, I did see some of them saying, oh, it was not a basketball play. That's favorite line everybody using, but they
Yeah.
are saying things like, I do look at it differently now, right? And I think that's the time. I think that's the time going past, because in a moment, they want blood, right? You tried to hurt her, but I think now people was realizing like, okay, Kennedy, Caitlyn is good. Kennedy was wrong, but they not as
you know what's
angry.
funny to me though? You know what's funny to me? When you look at some of the videos, look at the headlines, and it's like Kennedy comes clean, and I'm like, you definitely didn't get that serious in that interview.
Yeah.
That's clickbait right there.
Yeah.
It was not that serious.
Yeah, I agree with that. What was your thoughts? Did you actually watch the? Well, I just played it. What's your thoughts on the actual interview, Wody?
I did happen to see it prior. It's hard. It's hard to put my finger because I don't know what to make of it. Again, like I got the same impression that Coach Marcus did bring to the forefront. It's like he was asking random questions, but it's like he wasn't familiar with her really at all, who she was. He was going off for what was given to him, but he probably really don't know who she is. That's the impression I got with this. Like, this was definitely a setup interview situation, and he probably is also just looking at getting a brief overview of his content. The viewers to his channel probably also don't watch the W either, so it was a
Facts.
Which it seems weird to me, like to go there, yeah, you'll be visible, but a lot of people like, who's she? You know what I mean? Some people, some again, and he's probably trending to a younger audience too. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is this? You know what I mean? People in their teens and 20s, they be in their own world with it. They, social media and pop culture for the most part.
He brought up Angel Reese.
Yeah. I mean, but it ain't hard to say. I mean, when you got like Angel Reese being,
he's gonna know. He's gonna know who Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, he know who Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese for sure.
Yeah, Damon Wayans said the Angel Reese name on the show, Papa's House. You know what I'm saying? So we know those are gonna be the two more well known. And yeah, he's Indian. Somebody said he looks white, but he's Indian. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed too. He's an Indian kid. But
good point.
That the way that she did answer it, I've seen somebody else address it in the same way. She could have did a little better PR response to it, because it does give off that you didn't feel like you didn't do anything wrong per se. And a lot of people have the impression that you didn't hurt the girl, but it wasn't a basketball play. So it probably would make your case a little bit easier for the next team. Like, hey, she showed remorse, we can give her a chance. You know what I mean? That's mainly probably what some people looking like. Oh, even if it's fake remorse, like.
And the funny thing is, she brought it up. He didn't ask; she brought it up.
Yeah, she brought it up.
She did.
That's low hanging fruit. You notice she's the only thing she said about Chicago was that was my best season ever, and that she cut it off right there.
Mm-hmm.
But she putting herself out there for her potential, her next team.
Listen, I stand when I said I believe she'll be back in the league, probably because somebody gets injured or something like that halfway through. I think somebody gonna sign her midway through. She should be in the league, period. She should have been 6 men of the year last year. Do they even have that in the W? Do they get that award out in the W? 6 man of the year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Dejanay. I think Dejanay was that last year, if I'm not mistaken. Not this past year, but the year before. I think. I'm not sure. Don't kill me on that. I think.
Yeah.
But I don't think this was enough. I think if you want to win, which should be the main thing for all these teams, you put Chennedy Carter on your team, even if you think it's a 6-woman role or whatever. But I don't think that I think the narrative on her right now is too strong. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that the hip check is the reason why she's not in the league. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's deeper than that, because like I said, she was already blackballed twice before this. So I think it's a narrative on her that she just don't want to play team ball, right? Like it was something in Atlanta that happened about that. It was something in LA with her and Liz Cambage in the locker room. Gamble, appreciate you for the $2. He said his chat brought it up. I don't know. His chat brought what up? I'm not.
He
I'm
was
not,
asking the questions from his chat.
Oh, his chat brought it up. Got you. His chat brought it up. But I think she had some type of issue with Liz Cambage. So, and I know in Atlanta, between her and Courtney Williams, it was more like a fight. It was more like something happened with that.
Yeah, then, Courtney Williams is rough too, bro.
Right, exactly. And then same thing happened in LA. So I think that's more so what it is. I think I'm not saying that this has nothing to do with it. I think the hip check on Caitlyn affected her. I think what you said, Coach, the locker room thing affected her, and the hit on Mabry as well. I think those three things put a bad taste in people's mouth, but I think it stems from, it predates all of that, right? It predates something that happened because, like I said, she was already blackballed. She was blackballed before this. So I think these GMs is over her.
She, in my opinion, after the hip check, she had got over all of that because she was balling after that.
Yeah.
Not long after that, she started. She began. Weatherspoon began to start her instead of coming off the bench, and it made a difference. And I still say, if she would have played them last couple of games, Chicago goes to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it had it in a situation like this, it had to be drastic. Whatever happened in that locker room, because that was on camera, and that was very uncomfortable for Weatherspoon and the girls sitting at the press table. That was very uncomfortable. So whatever happened in that moment, that's when the ownership is like, we got to do something about this, because they had to make the decision rather than win.
Yeah.
They made that decision knowing it cost them a chance in the playoffs, and they rolled with it, and they was okay with that.
Yeah.
Also, to keep it just question out of curiosity, right? Other GMs around the league, especially if they have an interest in it, are you of the belief that GMs talk to other GMs asking about players they, trying to get a little insight on a player they might want to bring in?
Absolutely.
All the time.
Right. So no idea what transpired in that locker room and all, and not even supposing, just for the sake of conversation. But the only thing that stood out to me is during one of the losses where you seen Camilla was sitting there, Teaspoon and them, and there was a loud commotion like coming from like the locker room area, and everybody stopped when they heard like a slam and they looked towards the door. And they was like, yo, close that door. Like nobody knows at all really what happened, but then people were speculating that Kennedy was in the locker room, not necessarily on somebody, but like throwing a temper tantrum, mad, upset. Again, you could be just mad and, you know what I mean? Like say some people, like I know in my family, like they get mad, they go punch a wall. Now you got a hole in the wall, right? And you're not hurting nobody.
I mean, Amari Stoudemire did that and took himself out the playoffs. He punched the wall in the playoffs.
Yeah,
it was out with it.
Break his finger or something like that.
Yeah. You can be that type of person, and that's what you're doing. So I mean, and I guess it depends on how good you are. Some people overlook it, right? If that's all the problem is, and you perform on the course, some people like overlook it. I guess compounded with that, plus Jeff probably is not a fan of hers, and other people in the front office, maybe they don't like the way that she talks to them.
That's what I think it. That's what I think is more is. I think there is a narrative on her, right? And I think that she's part of the reason. I'm not to cut you off, Wody. I want you to finish your thought, but I think she's part of the reason, right? I'm putting some accountability and responsibility on her. But I feel like it's a narrative on her and her personality and the way she handles things that the GMs is fed up with her, like all of them, because it don't make sense. I done seen people not as good at her get contracts.
Yeah.
So they going out of their way to not, like, they know she's there. They going out of their way to say, not Kennedy, not you. So she rubbed some people the wrong way. Go ahead, Wody.
That and also like I alluded to, I would have to believe, because as many times as GMs have moved around in her 4-year stint in this league on different organizations, new GMs, new spots, new teams getting added. It gotta be probably, calls asking, yo, hey, how's she in the locker room? And if you're asking Jeff P, and if Jeff P and them are not a fan of yours, they're not giving your highest praise, and they might be also putting dirt on your name. Like, and she was in the locker room tearing shit up. Like, I don't know what's wrong. She's kind of like a head case. Take her at your own risk.
Listen, y'all keep saying Jeff P. Like Kurt Miller wasn't the person who told her don't come. You get what I'm saying? It's not just Jeff P.
They talk amongst each other, but you're right.
Yeah, it was Jeff P. that probably said he probably done talk to somebody and they probably was like, y'all let her in your locker room. That's, you know what I mean? And Kurt Miller is not a fan of hers. You get what I'm saying? And I don't know. I know Kurt Miller took over in LA. Dallas. So it was LA when she was there. Dallas now. Yeah, I'm talking about when she was there and they told her to come back. Was that might have been Atlanta? It was Atlanta or was LA? I think it might have been Atlanta when he took over. I'm not sure. Listen, I'm a new fan, so I don't know all the history. Y'all probably know better than me, but I know it's 3 different organizations that already gave up on her: Atlanta, LA, and Chicago. Right. So now there's only 10 more organizations left, and you gotta assume that out of those 10 organizations, at least half, if not all, side with the other GMs. They already side, and they don't even know you. They just like, nah, Kurt. Yeah. And then you also got to realize these people. I don't know. I'm new to the W, so I don't know these people histories. But some people done worked with some people before. Oh, he put me on. I'm here, blah, 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 or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So I don't even have to know you. He don't like you. I don't fuck with you either. You get what I'm saying? Because that's my man, and my man don't like you. So now I don't like you.
And
so that's what she's going through right now.
That's what got Teaspoon out of there.
That's my point. I said that.
If Teaspoon would have kept her in check, that would have most likely ended up with her playing and then making the playoffs. This whole situation is different.
I think with Teaspoon even giving her a chance, put a spotlight on Teaspoon. Like, this your responsibility.
Target on her back.
This your responsibility, and I think that's part of the reason why she got fired.
If this don't work, it's on you.
It's on you. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And think about that too. Think about Teaspoon. What I just said. I just said all the coaches that's in that's at the country club with each other. Not the coaches, the GMs. All the GMs is, so it had to be somebody new, right, to give her a shot. And that new person was Teaspoon. It had to be somebody brand new. That brand new person was Teaspoon. So who else is gonna be the person that give her a shot? You get what I'm saying? It got to be somebody that's going to go against the grain of everybody else. So we got to think of who those. No, but that's my point. If she does, it has to be somebody who is going to go against the grain. So who are those people? The only person I could think of that maybe go against the grain is like a Becky Hammond, maybe. You know what I mean? Like it's not many. It's probably like it's a short list of people who would go against the grain of everybody else. So
no, I'm saying, do you think Teresa Weatherspoon will get another shot to coach?
Absolutely. Because I think everybody kind of agrees, like, she got a raw deal. So, like, when do she get another shot? I don't know. But in my opinion, I think for her to get another shot, she's going to have to accept assistant coaching job and just work her way up, right? Work her way up through the ranks. I don't think it's going to take long because she already had coaching history on the male side, right? Yeah. She was assistant coach in New Orleans. Same thing with Becky Hammond. So I just think she would, and with the new franchises coming in, I think it's going to be open spots. So she's going to have an opportunity. So we'll see. Lisa Leslie said that she felt disrespected because she went to go get a coaching job somewhere. I think we all assuming it's probably LA, but she said she went to go get a coaching job somewhere and they choose somebody over her. And she said, and listen, she kept it all the way a stack. She said, this person they chose over me don't know more basketball than me.
Let me be honest with you. She pissed me off with that. And let me speak just from my experience in the NFL. Yeah. Just because you know ball don't mean you a good coach.
That's true.
Those are two different things. And I thought it was very entitled on her part to think that somebody was just going to give her a job. You ain't got no coach. Your only coaching history is Big Three. Mm-hmm. Come on. Like, you got to come with something better than that. And I thought that was very entitled for her. And then what made it worse for me is, and then you're going to go on Angel's podcast or whatever, and you're going to say, I'll never try for another job again. And I was like, that goes against everything that makes you a pro athlete. People telling you that you can't do it, being able to put in the work, that goes against everything that it took for you to get to the point you are in your life. And you just gonna say, they didn't give me what I want, so I quit. And I was like, that's the bullshit right there. And if that's your attitude, then they don't need you as a coach.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I will say, if you think about players, former players, going to places to get a coaching job, they never probably had no type of prior experience. Like, look at Mike Vick, right? Going to Norfolk. I think it's Norfolk, right? Eddie George.
Shout out to him. I thought that was dope.
Him and D-Jax.
Yeah. I was out there too.
Saw the support.
Just like you said, coach, though, right? Like either going the assistant coaching route, which I think going the assistant coaching route, which it's almost a guarantee somebody will pull you on the staff. You are all time great. You could at least be in there training the players. They can learn something from you. It is beneficial, right? I think that would be like the fast track. But if you want to, my personal opinion again, just my little small scope, if you want to prove that you can be the head woman in charge or whatever, I think going to like one of those, colleges who would be willing to give you an opportunity and taking a head coaching job if they give you the opportunity and doing it for a couple of years and actually being successful using your name recognition, that should elevate you right there. That's building your resume. Right? I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that's why I do agree with what you said though with the Lisa Letty situation. It could be, right, that somebody that was a part of that interview where she went, or she went somewhere where there was people that she knew was in the organization, and she felt like, hey, you know me, right? Look out for your girl. I think there was also part of that too. Like, hold up, you was in the front office when I was over there for the Sparks. So I like, oh yeah, I got this. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to a spot and you see a familiar face, like I got this. And you don't get it, like, hold on, did I misread this or something? Did I misread the room or what? Like, you know what I mean? So she probably could have. I think that's along also. She felt like, yo, y'all know me. Wherever she went, y'all know me. Like, what's up? Yo, I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready to work with y'all.
It'll play itself out though. It'll play itself out. But still, I got a problem with somebody just trying to insert themselves into a situation when you got people in front of you that put in the work. I'll give you a easy example. Y'all probably don't keep up with the XFL and the UFL. When the UFL started, it was the XFL, then they merged, and then it became the UFL, and Rock bought everything, right?
Yeah.
But y'all remember Terrell Buckley? Terrell Buckley had like 9 good years in the league. He was one of the top cornerbacks in the league. He was good. He was legit. Went to a couple Pro Bowls. He was legit. He was one of the coaches on the UFL team, one of the UFL teams. He lasted a year. They fired him before the end of the year.
Damn.
You can't tell me he don't know ball. That don't mean you a good coach.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
It's not automatic.
I mean, if you ain't got players too, we'll take that into account too. If you got a trash roster, but it makes you keep it stacked, Brooklyn. It makes you look so much better if you don't got a roster and you got a competitive team, like you on your Coach Carter with it. That makes you look amazing. But we'll give you a pass. You got kind of like a trash roster. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, well, you ain't got nobody. But imagine if you do. Imagine if you can Coach Carter your way through this thing. Boy.
That's a fact. So listen, let's switch gears now. This is a more funny topic. Lexi Brown, we all know she got traded. Ugh.
I can't wait to see her play this year because I'm tired of seeing her talk.
So Lexi Brown, we all know she got traded to the Storm from the Sparks, but she put this video I thought was funny. She says, for the people who can't see it, she says, we're trading you to Seattle. She's quoting the organization talking to her. And she writes, God forbid I wanted a practice facility. And it's just like, listen, in the WNBA, man, be careful what you wish for. You complain too much, they're going to get you out of there. And you could be asking for something you need, like a practice facility.
Now you got it.
Find your ass on another team.
Yep.
But that ain't a bad spot to land, though. I mean, even though
no, she got what she wanted though, because Seattle got one of the best practice facilities. That's what I'm saying. But you could tell it was like she felt some type of way of getting traded for that. But
welcome to the league. Listen, man, the WNBA is getting what they've been yearning for the past 28 years. They have become mainstream in a very short period of time. But what comes with that is you got to know how to play the game, and the game ain't fair.
That's a fact.
So you got to take your lumps. That was, in my opinion, that was the big problem with the league last year. Everybody complaining and immediately trying to. It worked on both sides. The players was complaining because everybody want to automatically, we've been here for years. No, you haven't. But now you here now. You finally had that player that breaks the threshold, and you got the recipe, and it's bringing eyes to your sport. Roll with it. And y'all screwed that up. The flip side of that is the business part of it. Kathy Engelbert and all the people running the league, they had a mass opportunity that they wasted. And a lot of people think they still wasted with how they doing. But you got to think of it like every team don't have a full media team like they do in the WNBA or like they do in the NBA. Now they got people that their whole job is to walk behind you with a phone just to make social media content for the Lakers, for the Sixers, for the Heat, for the Celtics. They got a whole staff of people strictly for social media. I don't think the WNBA has that yet. So what they got is, they got McDonald's money, but they got, 4 seasons taste. It just don't match up yet, but it's getting there. They just got to be impatient, or they just got to be patient. They can't put the cart before the horse, man.
Nah, definitely great point. What you got on that, Wody Matt?
Well, I'm curious as to know like which direction are we taking it on, like far as the trade or
any direction you want, brother. It's just we just having a conversation.
Yeah, because I have many thoughts on it, and one, it's a beneficial move for her, even though we would assume the Sparks being one of the legacy franchises that been there from the beginning, and they still don't got a facility, and then yet your ownership group got Magic Johnson in it. And Lord, to zoom in on this is crazy enough. I'm gonna return my head.
She is looking good. I ain't gonna hold you. She looking good right there.
My headphone popped out. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hold on, now my headphone broke. Damn, my shit just broke in my ear. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, but so the being over there with Skylar, Necky, and them, this is gonna be a great scenario for them, even though Seattle may not be competitive, right? It may give an opportunity to even shine some more. And Malonga, if Malonga didn't shake out like she's supposed to, Seattle gonna have a lot of eyes on them. And hey, I did watch her. I did notice she has a podcast that she's been doing with this other young lady. She's trying to get into her podcast bag. Just look at it, count it as a blessing.
Andrew done showed them the blueprint, man. All they got to do is follow it.
Yeah, we can say Angel, but like let's keep it a Beano. Let's keep it a Beano. There's different lanes with this. You could be sports podcasting, right? You could be culture and lifestyle podcasting, a variety.
Listen, whatever you're doing, I'm talking about just getting to the bag. That's what I'm talking about.
Bag, yeah, right. The problem is they ain't Angel.
No, but they not. So it's like you're gonna always have a leader, right? You're always gonna have the biggest. But I think it's a lane, especially for like somebody Lexi Hall. She was on Gil's Arena, right? So for her,
she got the reach.
That's what I'm saying. For her to transition, I think she should be fine. Everybody can go, right? Everybody can't go, but I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, she talking sports. They talking strictly sports over there, right? And if she, I mean, my kind of introduction to her was through Gil's Arena,
Same
right?
here.
Maybe pay attention to her in her game, and I mean,
Well,
just
I knew
my
her
thoughts.
as D. I don't know if y'all noticed. I knew her as D Brown's daughter. D
Dude,
Brown
I
is
didn't
on
Oh
my
realize
yeah,
that.
she
I
D
didn't find
Brown's
that
daughter.
out
Yeah,
until
that's
like
what I
2
found
months
out
ago.
about that
Yeah,
later.
D Brown is if y'all people who don't know D Brown, he's a play for the Celtics,
For the Celtics.
and I
He's
and I
the man.
believe he was in a dunk contest. He pumped the
Yeah, he
sneakers
did.
up,
Yep.
winning. So that's what D.
The
A lot of
Reebok
people who
pumps.
know, yeah, a lot of people who know. And she's a Reebok. You just reminded me, she actually a Reebok, and it's funny because I didn't put the connection with her father. I know her and Dejanay. Both on Reebok now, but I didn't put the connection with her father.
That's a
Is a
good
Reebok
pickup.
athlete.
That's a good
Listen,
pickup.
man, Reebok is for the baddies, man. We need to go get Deja Kelly. I don't care. I don't know if Deja Kelly's with a brand right now, but we need to grab her up. We need hold on, because that's the next topic. We not jumping ship real quick. We not jumping ship, but I just want to show y'all something real quick. I want to show y'all something real quick. We need to Reebok need to grab her up. Yeah, she marketable.
Yeah,
You get what?
yeah.
She
I get
marketable. And to answer your question, RC, yes, I hope she make it. She hope if she make the roster for the Aces, her jersey's selling out. But anyway, getting back to that's the next topic.
It was another girl too that was she was gorgeous.
Kaiser Gondrzik.
Who?
Kaiser Gondrzik.
He's on my
This
Angel
with Jalen
OG
Brown
man.
right
Is that
now.
who you?
Yeah.
Is that you? Who you talking about? You talking about somebody in the draft, or who you talking about?
No, she was in the draft.
She was in the draft.
Yeah, hold on.
Gorgeous.
I'm gonna find it. Find it.
I mean, it depends on what everybody's eyes work differently. You know what I'm saying?
You want to know what's funny? Some people surprised me in the draft. I didn't expect. Fegan was looking kind of good.
So, never really noticed
I never looked at her like that. I was like,
you know what? Okay, you're not too bad, champ.
Right. It was a couple. Aaliyah Nye. Yes, Aaliyah Nye was another one. Aaliyah Nye. Aaliyah Nye is another one.
She's gorgeous.
She gorgeous. And ironically, same team. So if you get Aaliyah Nye and Deja Kelly, and Hermione Turner not bad looking either. So they got all good looking rookies over there.
Yeah, it's a fact.
But yeah, what's your thoughts? On the trade you were saying. So one thing I will say to you, what you said though, Wody, is we also her injury history. She got she have the I guess it's called the disease. Yeah, she has a disease that's not her fault, right? It's just something that happens.
Alexi Brown does.
Yeah. It's something that happens to people uncontrollably. It's like lupus. If you know what lupus is, it gives you like pain, uncontrollable pain. So she can't play through that, and so that's why she was out a lot of last season. She was out because of Crohn's disease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or whatever the case may be. So, that's what I'm saying. That's going to affect this trade. So, yeah, I think she is a good fit for Seattle. But if she can't play, she can't play. You get what I'm saying? And it's not her fault. Like I said, this is something that some people deal with, and it's just like, you can't blame her. You can't blame her for that. It's unfortunate. But her skill set is definitely, 3-point shooting, a little bit of playmaking is definitely something that could help out the Storm.
Now, my other thought, though, Coach Marcus did slightly broach the subject about like the bread being there, and a lot of, I don't say a lot of it. There was a conversation that was had in the chat somewhere else where people were saying that every team need to be up to the same standards, operating standards, to offering their players pretty much the same stuff like like a professional league should, right? I did make mention to them that fortunately a lot of the WNBA teams are sister teams to an NBA team. They're attached to an NBA team, and they was like, they should sever ties, go their own separate ways, right? I just told them, no, like, keep in mind, you got like the Sparks who and the Sun who are using like rec center type of facilities.
Yeah,
for teams that are connected to an NBA franchise, they get to utilize the NBA's resource, and that's top of the line everything. You know what I'm saying? That's top of the line. You may not always have the practice facility when you want, but That's top of the line resources. But just being fair, it's not necessarily fair to ask a team to come out of pocket and not necessarily get a return on their investment. You know what I mean? Whatever it may be, you know what I mean, just for the purpose of optics. You know what I mean? What the New York Liberty is able to do, even if they're not making money because their owner's a billionaire, ain't the same thing that the Dallas Wings or the Connecticut Sun can do. Because there's not the community support isn't there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's just unfortunate. That's the way it is. That's the way of life.
It'll be better though. It'll be better. Yeah. And I tell you what, man, I'm working on a piece about this now. If Dominique Malonga does not slam in a game, I'm gonna be pissed. We got teased.
Does slam though? Oh my God!
We've been getting teased. I got teased all last year in NCAA women's basketball. I was waiting for Kiki Rice to yam on somebody. Never happened.
Kiki Arifin.
Yeah, Kiki Iriafin. Yep, correct. And it never happened. I watched all them practice tapes that she had. Nothing ever came of it. Ashlyn Watkins got hurt. Now, Ashlyn Watkins did dunk twice in the game for South Carolina. She ain't
dunked on somebody.
Dunked on somebody.
Because that's what I was going to say, Coach. I need Dominique to dunk on somebody.
Now,
I don't need her just to dunk. I need her to dunk.
I did see her do that in Europe. So she does have that potential. Toby Fournier is still a couple years out, but to me, that's the big piece of the puzzle that can generate a lot more interest if you got some females dunking.
That's going viral. You took the words out of my mouth. That's going viral on SportsCenter.
Yeah, and it ain't got to be every game.
Yeah,
it ain't got to be every game. Just every now and then, but just let you know why Brittany Griner got to do it in Unrivaled. Mm-hmm. Come on now.
You know, it's funny to your point. This is big for me because I love basketball. Like I've been a fan of the males basketball game for my whole life, and I always watch at some point, even if I wait to the playoffs, but I always watch. So this year I haven't really watched at all because I was so focused on learning this women's game. And so because it's the playoffs, I say, let me start watching some of these games, and I forget how explode because I'm watching a women's game a lot, which is a great game. It's a great game, right? But I forget how explosive some of these men is, right? I'm watching Anthony Edwards just like violate people. Like he's looking for the body. He's running in that lane and he's trying to look for you to. So it's and to your point, Coach, the excitement the arena gets when he catch a body, it's like everybody is just, it's like a boost of energy. And so to your point, we don't need it every single game, every single play, but you just those momentum plays. If you got it, if you want to transition play, everybody should be. If you could get up there, you should be trying to go up for that dunk on every transition play because that's an easy dunk, right? It's a transition, right. And then if you are big, if you somebody that's a big, like a Malonga, you gotta like just take a page out of Shaq book. Bang your defender 1 or 2 times, drop step, and then once you drop step, just go up, and that's it. That's all you got to do. So it's like we just need that. We need that, and like you said, it don't have to be every play, but if you do it at the right moments in the game, is gonna that boost of excitement is gonna lift the game up.
I think Malonga's gonna be. I think she's gonna be just as big a draw as Paige Beckers because I think. Paige is in the same situation that Caitlin was last year with her trying to get used to work with Kelsey Mitchell.
Yeah.
Paige got to learn how to work with Arike because Arike will dribble the air out the ball.
Yeah.
But when Arike gets hot, you got to let her do her thing. But Malonga's up there. If they let her do her thing, Seattle's going to be the draw, and Seattle's going to be the team to watch.
But all it's going to literally take is
a dunk.
If she gets an opportunity to do a slightly impressive dunk. If she does it in the half court, like while they running half court offense, and she gets up there and dunk, that's different than say, okay, she got it off the break. If they somehow catch on like a backdoor cut and she goes up and jams in traffic around, you know what I mean? Even not necessarily on somebody.
I don't care how she do
half court offense.
Listen,
oh my God.
Listen, she's playing with one of the best point guards ever. I better see an alley. I
That's
better
what
see.
Lexi
I
said.
better see an alley at some point.
Facts.
You know what I mean, just put it right in front of the rim for her. Let her go get it.
And she'll be able to get it. And most women is
Yeah.
not going. Most women is not going to throw that body at her to knock her out the air. So she'll get the opportunity if somebody catch somebody slacking or catch somebody sleeping. My gosh, bro. I know. I know sometimes things take time to catch on, but Coach Marcus, like I said, he ain't never lying. I would almost guarantee bet on it. If she can make that happen, Seattle's gonna be one of them teams that they're gonna have to start putting on TV more.
Hey,
Because
listen.
people gonna tune in to
Hey,
see if she
listen.
do it again.
Hey, listen. I got 15 people watching me right now. If you ain't hit the like button, hit the like button. And listen, for all the people that's so used to coming to my channel and supporting me, I appreciate you. But hey, my super chats work now. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to you know what I mean?
Yeah, put it out there, bro.
Hey, listen, the super chats is there if you feel like being generous.
Never make the shot you don't take.
There you go. So I just want to remind people, because you want to know what's funny? The first day, coach, my super chats was available. They showed me a lot of love. So I want to say I appreciate everybody who showed me love on that first day. I think Gamble was the first person who started it off, and then Paige came and Paige showed me some love. And, a lot of people showed me love that day. Shout out to them. Then I did the show, coach, with where we did the international players. Yeah. And I felt like that was an amazing show. And I you don't think of something to after the fact. I was like, I didn't get no super chats on that. Yeah. I was like, that was a great show. So I was like, oh, it was a phenomenal show. So I say, you know what? I got to start letting these people know, hey, listen, if you enjoying the content, I mean, if we putting together some entertaining stuff, if we making you laugh, if we, if it's a good listen, you get to relax, work out, whatever it is you're doing while you listening to us, don't forget to hit the super chat if you enjoying the contents. You get what I'm saying? And hit the like button. Also, listen, follow my man, Coach Marcus. If you win the football, if you win the women's basketball, right? If you win the sports in general, hey, be well. I appreciate you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you. Be well says Brooklyn and the house. Without a doubt. I'm the Potter with clout. Everybody Potter. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, follow my man. Hey, you got some feedback, Be well.
I'm a man.
Yeah, you got mute up. So everybody follow my man Pro Fan Talk. If you want to talk women's sports, women's basketball, if you want to talk football, he have a lot of special guests. He plays, so he got relationships, so sometimes he has special guests on and all that. So if you want
NFL draft tomorrow, man, big day.
Oh, there you. Oh, listen. So you are going live during the draft?
Yeah, me and my boy, we do a
admins. I'm sorry, real quick. Admins, put Coach Fans Talks page in the chat. Everybody click Pro Fan Talk page, subscribe to him, and show up for that live draft tomorrow, man. We want to see. Listen, you already know. Listen, Coach, I know you're gonna be super technical, whatever, because you really know the game. But a lot of us care about the famous players we know. So we want to see where's Shador gonna go?
I don't know, because you would think that maybe the Giants would take him, but it looks like they're probably going to take. It looks like the Browns are going to take Travis Hunter, which means the Giants are probably going to take Abdul Carter out of Penn State. Abdul Carter is arguably Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter are the two best players in the draft. Period. They're 1 and 1A. Whoever you want to put first, you're not wrong. I think Shador might even fall all the way down to the Saints at number 9. And if the Saints don't take him, it's a chance that he might fall out of the first and go early second round. So it's a lot of things that can happen, man. And it's a lot of ways that they can upset the apple cart. So it gets crazy, man. I love it when the draft hits, because that just it is confirmation that all of these talking heads on ESPN and all these sports shows don't know shit. Everybody
don't know what the hell they talking about.
Everybody guessing.
No shit.
Shiloh is gonna be his name's gonna be in the draft too as well, right?
Shiloh will probably be maybe 4th, 5th. He might even be an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, wish him all the best.
They ain't gonna be missing no meals.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, getting back to women's basketball, I'm a little bit upset. And maybe it's just I gotta accept that this is how good she is. I wanted to see something from as a Shalomi Sanders, I think her name is. I wanted to see something from her. She went to she left Buffalo, right?
She left Colorado and went to
Colorado.
She went HBCU.
She went to a HBCU, and I was checking up on her a little bit. Nothing. She ain't do nothing over there.
She had that first game where she had like 21 points in 20 minutes or something like that. Okay. And everybody went viral, not forgetting the fact that she played, Sister Mary of the Poor. And then when they started playing some real competition, she was getting like 5 minutes with 2 points. So she got brought down to earth real quick.
I guess there's no WNBA dreams for her. Hey, listen, I just put Coach channel in the chat. It should be a quick clickable link for you guys if you're watching on YouTube, which most of you guys are watching on YouTube. So just get and click that link, get subscribe to him, and be prepared for that drive. It's gonna be fun. Listen, wherever. Listen, I know
right?
I didn't hear
Eagles.
Yeah. I played with Randall was my quarterback.
Your mic sound good right now, by the way, B Will. Whatever you doing right now, B Will, your mic sound amazing.
Okay. So it's good.
Sound amazing. But yeah, you was asking who his quarterback was.
You said Randall Cunningham?
Yeah, I played with Randall and Herschel and Eric Allen.
Wow.
And let me see. Seth Joyner, William Thomas, Eric Allen, Andre Waters, Wes Hopkins, Randall Cunningham, James Lofton, The Fridge.
Yeah, that's my high school days when I was really watching,
Calvin Williams, Vaughn Hebron, Brian Baldinger on NFL Network. Brian was one of my teammates. Visa Kahema was one of my teammates. We had a lot of good players. Byron Evans. Shoot, man, we had a lot of good dudes, man. I was there the year after Jerome Brown passed away in 93. Okay. 93 was my rookie year.
What was your alma mater, Coach?
Eastern Kentucky. I'm the all-time leading rusher in Eastern Kentucky history.
I asked that because one of the college players that left USC, I think her name is Dominique. She has a podcast. Her father played at Syracuse. So, and that's the team that she's going to now. She's leaving USC to go to Syracuse. And as he was walking around Syracuse, he was like a celebrity. People was walking up to him like, oh, don't, you know what I mean? So it was like, it reminds you that everybody has a starting place. And that starting place is where you might even be a hometown hero, right? People know you for, like you said, the most whatever yards, the most this or whatever at your alma mater before you even went to the pros. So I just wanted to know where you started at.
Yeah. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, bro. Eastern went to Eastern Kentucky, and then I broke all the rushing records. I was the all-time leading rusher back when they called it 1AA. Mm-hmm. Now it's football championship subdivision, whatever they called it. But when I left college, I was the all-time leading rusher in 1AA history.
Gotcha.
I averaged like 6.7 yards a pop, bro. I could tote that rock, man.
Hey. Hey.
But listen, let's
talk your talk, brother. Talk your talk. It's a po frog won't praise his own pond. You know what I'm saying? Talk your talk, brother.
But listen, moving on to the next topic. Like I said, Deja Kelly was drafted. I'm excited about that just because I was somebody who wanted to talk more about Deja Kelly all year, but I really couldn't because she didn't. I don't feel like she had enough big games, but she got to the tournament. She got her team to the tournament. And she turned up a little bit. So I'm happy that unfortunately she didn't get drafted, but best case scenario for her is she got picked up. Now hopefully she just make this team. Hopefully, one thing about Deja Kelly though, she's gonna be good no matter what because she's like a triple threat, right? She's she has the ability to make a pro team, right? She she has the business acumen to do anything she want behind the scenes. And then she also has her own podcast, and she's one of the biggest NIL brands out there as well. So that's why I feel like it's a good pickup for the Aces for a basketball fit, but also off the court fit. But yeah, I was just happy. I'm just a fan, and this is another play I'm a fan of, and I was just happy to hear this news. When I first learned about Angel Reese, shortly after I learned about Deja Kelly. Shortly after, I learned about Rakia Jackson. So these are players that I want the best for. So obviously, we know Rakia Jackson's in the league and she's doing well for herself. Deja Kelly is another player who I would love to see do great things. I would love to see her with Unrivaled. I would love to see her doing some things. And I'm happy that she's getting her opportunity. So hopefully this opportunity turns into an actual job and not just, getting cut at the end of training camp.
Well, that's the thing, Brooklyn. I actually think Deja Kelly. So they picked up 3, right? The Aces picked up 3. They had drafted 2, and then they picked up Deja on a training camp contract. I think she fits more what they need because they got Leah Nye. She's a shooter. She got some length, so she can play some perimeter defense, hopefully. And then they got Harmony Turner. But Deja Kelly, I think it's more what they need. The Aces need a backup point guard. Right now, they really don't have any. Even if you think about the star power that they have at the guard position, that they keep good guards, right? But they really need a backup point guard because as much as Chelsea Gray showed out in Unrivaled, she getting up in age, and so she ain't got but a couple more years, peak years left, and so they need to be looking at, all right, how we gonna replace this? And so I think Deja Kelly learning from somebody like Chelsea Gray is actually a good fit for them. Probably
who are
better.
Their guards now? Kelsey Plum is in LA now, right? So who are the guards?
So they got Chelsea Gray. They got Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, Jewel Lloyd. They picked up Tiffany Mitchell.
Jewel Lloyd, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So she's going to play the 2. They picked up Tiffany Mitchell and Dana Evans in free agency. And then they drafted 3. If you consider Leah Nye, like Leah Nye can play the 2 or the 3. So they picked up.
For what I heard, so I agree with you, B-Well. That's a natural position. But what I heard, what they said about her during draft day is the role they want her to play is the role that Alicia Clark left. So basically that small ball role, that small forward, power forward role. So it makes sense because they was weak. To me, remember I've been saying this all year, they was weak in the power forward position. And I felt like picking up Cheyenne Parker-Tyus, if I said her name correctly, was big for them, but obviously she got pregnant. So I think this is like going to be a backup plan for them. Instead of having a big 4, they're going to have a small ball 4. Because you're right, her natural position is 3, and she could play 2 or 3. But I think instead, because she's 6 feet tall, they're going to use her more as a small ball forward. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a big ask though.
And she's No, it's definitely a big axe on the defensive end, but I think offensively she fits in nicely because she's a catch and shoot shooter, not lights out, knock down shooter, very efficient shooting the ball. So I think offensively is a perfect fit. Like you said, defensively, you can't just expect somebody to step in those shoes and do what Alicia Clark did, right? It's going to take some time to learn. It's one to learn how to play defense on a WNBA level, but then to be undersized and have to guard bigger players is definitely going to be a learning curve. So I agree with you, definitely. But that's the role that they said that they want her in. As you said, the backup guard position. I look at somebody like a Harmony Turner as somebody who could fit right into what Tiffany Hayes left. When she left, Harmony Turner could step right into that, a 5'10", 5'11" guard, big guard. And then Deja Kelly, like you said, hopefully I didn't realize they had this many people fighting for a roster spot. So hopefully Deja Kelly can make it because another good guard I know is Crystal Bradford. She's pretty good too.
Yeah,
So and she's a vet. So she's probably gonna make the league. She's probably gonna make the team too. So we gotta really see who they have on contract and who's probably not. It's gonna be difficult to make this roster.
Well, it's a lot of
I ain't
teams
gonna
in
lie
that
to you.
position too. It's a lot of teams that got like
Yeah.
right now 18, 19 players on their roster in training camp.
Yeah, but the difference is like even if you take a look at a Chicago Sky, right? They have vets on a training camp contract, but I don't think the vets is better than the rookies that came in, right? So like on a team like Chicago, I think the rookies got a good chance of making the team. When I look at this team right here, some of these vets is pretty good. So it's like they're gonna be fighting, right? That's the point. You're gonna have to really beat out some of these vets who done played overseas, done, you know what I mean, and did all the things that you haven't done yet, that has the experience that you don't have yet. So it's gonna be difficult to beat out some of these. Like I said, the one that name that pop off, I think Crystal Bradford is going to finally make this team because I know she's been struggling to get in WNBA. But I think what she just did with Athletes Unlimited and how she's playing right now, I can't see her not making the roster. You get what I'm saying? And then, you take a look at some of these other names, Queen Egbo, you would think Dana Evans is probably going to make the roster. She might not. She's small.
She's small, and you got Tiffany Mitchell who can do basically the same thing.
I've heard, and this is not my assessment, but I listen to what some people say. I've heard Tiffany Mitchell was like a Dwayne Wade type of player.
She a baller.
Yeah, so again, these are some tough vets to beat out. Is my point, right?
Thanks. Brooklyn, I'm sitting here watching. I pulled up some highlights of Deja Kelly.
Yeah, Deja Kelly is really good in the mid-range. So what she's known for is that free throw line jump shot. You let her get to that free throw line, she gonna kill. The problem with
spicy too.
Yeah, she a little spicy. The problem with Deja Kelly though is because every player has their weaknesses, and that the highlights is gonna show you what they good at. The problem with Deja Kelly is when you take away that mid-range jump shot, she don't really have a counter move. She don't have. You could shut her down, is what I'm saying. Like once you realize, oh, that's where she's dangerous at. Stop her from doing that. She don't have a counter move. Yeah, and
it don't look like she got like incredible handles.
Yeah, her hand. Like she's a real. And I hate to say this word, but this is not a bad word because this is what most players are. That's outside of the star. She got basic handle. Right, she got a basic. She's a basic player that has the thing that's in her favor is she has a go-to move or a go-to thing, which is that mid-range. She's very efficient in the mid-range, pulling up from that free throw line. She's very efficient. The problem is if you take that away, then she could disappear. Right, it's like she don't have something else to go to.
Yeah, but I thought she was taller too. She's only 5'8".
Yeah, she's about 5'8".
She gonna get lost in the woods. She gonna get lost in the trees.
Yeah, that's why I said it's gonna have to be defense, right? She's gonna have to come in and play defense and just be like, one of those players on defense that's just, and then that could get her a spot on the team. But it's gonna be difficult because, like I said, Crystal Bradford is pretty good. I know that for a fact. I don't know all these names. These are a lot of names here. I don't know who Jordan Jenkins is. I don't know who Elena Sanika, however you say that. I don't know who a few of these names is, but the names I do know, it's going to be tough to beat out. But I still wish her luck, though.
I wonder what they're going to do next year, man. I didn't even think. What is the WNBA going to do next year when they launch the Toronto team?
They're going to do another expansion drive.
Yep.
And remember,
no. I'm talking about with Trump doing all the tariffs and stuff like that. How was that going to affect the team? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Like tariffs affecting sports. That's the NBA going to have to think about that too.
Yeah. Because I know, with some sports, they got the money to figure it out.
Yeah,
the WNBA
absolutely.
does not.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. But to your earlier question, though, like B Well was saying, they still got Jackie Young, Jewel Lloyd.
I like Jewel Lloyd, man. Jewel Lloyd was one of the first players I started watching with the W.
They got Asia Wilson here twice, so that's weird. They got Jewel Lloyd, Chelsea Gray, Tiffany Mitchell, Dana Evans was traded to them from us, so they got
I'm
some
so glad
solid
Chelsea
cards.
Gray had a good. I'm glad she did really well in Unrivaled and stuff like that, because
Yeah,
I was like, I don't understand why they talking about her like this. I
yeah.
don't understand. Like when she made the Olympics, I was like, this girl ain't done nothing all year. She popped an Achilles. She's not being on the team, but
Yeah.
when she got an Unrivaled, I was like, okay, I got you. I was not familiar with your game. My apologies.
Facts.
Well, with Chelsea Gray, she had already made the Olympic team before she got injured, so they would have to cut her from the team because of the injury. So yeah, it was a done deal when she, already they had already made that decision. That's why all the controversy about Caitlin Clark not making the Olympic team, the team was already set.
Yeah, but the thing with that is because everybody used the obvious example, and I agree with it. You can go back and look when they left Shaq off because of Christian Laettner. At the end of the day, if they want you on a team, they will put you on a team. Period.
Yeah.
They can make whatever move, excuse. If they want to do it, they will do it. Period. And they didn't want to do it. So
yeah,
if they would have lost that game, because Gabby Williams was in their ass.
Oh man, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Wasn't
She
she?
was in
And
their
almost
ass.
won it. She almost won it.
Almost. Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah, she was a couple inches
Yeah.
in a couple
Had her,
tenths of a second. You know what I'm
yep.
saying?
And she had her foot on the line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She was a toe on the line. It was a couple
Yeah.
of inches. Yeah.
I'm looking at these teams to see if there's anybody else that got picked up on.
Hey, Brooklyn, I got to bounce, bro. But before I go, I got a question for you.
Yes,
Where's
sir.
a good site that I can go to? Because I want to start looking at basketball like I look at football. I want to start studying the X's and O's of it, things of that nature. So what's a good site I can go to?
You talk about in general, like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter male or female, or
Don't matter.
okay.
Basketball play is a basketball play.
So the best place to go, I would say, is what's the name of this channel? I'll show you right now. This is where I learn a lot. This is where I learn a lot. I gotta find it because I haven't been to his page in a minute. So let me see if I can find it. What's the name of this guy channel? Let me see if somebody in the chat might know. His tagline is is it not basketball? Is it something like that? Damn. I know his name is Coach Mike. I know that's his name, but the name of his actual channel is escaping me.
Let me see if it come up as Coach Mike basketball.
Yeah, I just searched that and it didn't come up. Let me see.
No.
Damn it. I can't think of the name. It'll come to me when we get off stream, and then I'll probably just send it to you in the DM.
All right, text it to me.
But yeah, but I know I got it right here, but I just can't think of like the actual name. I know exactly who I want to tell you about. It's perfect. Yeah. He breaks down offenses, coaches, he breaks everything down. But that's gonna be the best place for you to see X's and O's, and you're gonna appreciate his analysis. He even broke down Caitlin Clark. And I was upset with him because I had wrote him before, because I was looking for somebody to break down X's and O's. This was the middle of the season, and this is when I kind of didn't really know what Teaspoon was running. So I messaged him and I said, can you break down Teaspoon's offense for me? And a couple months later, a couple weeks later, he did a whole Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark one, and I was like, well, thank you for that, but I still want to see this. So he never did it. So, but he did is one on he did even one on Caitlin. He mainly do men's basketball, but he did one on Caitlin Clark too. But he's really good. I can't take nothing away from him.
All right, I'll find him.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get out of here, bro. I appreciate you, man.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, coach.
So, all right, so we're gonna get into my next topic. Look, as soon as he left, I found it because I put in Caitlin Clark breakdown. Right? I can't play it, but it's this guy right here, Baller Breakdown.
Baller Breakdown.
Yeah. If y'all want to learn basketball, man, this is where you go, man. He his videos, he breaks down offenses. I mean, he's really good. This stuff is really good. I think his name is Coach Mike, and like he break down a triangle offense. He break down. In fact, what he'll tell you is in basketball, even though they're not calling it the triangle, and I think Hot Boy Coleona appreciate this. If he's the one, I think he was the one that said a couple streams ago that he likes the triangle offense. He said most of these plays these teams are running is based off the triangle in the NBA, right? They run a lot of triangle offense stuff. They're not running a triangle offense, but they run a triangle offense stuff. Look, I think. Yeah, this is look. Actually, no, this is not the one I saw. This must be one he did before. So I didn't even know he did this. Yeah, this is how Iowa. But yeah, he does a great job of breaking basketball down. But getting into the next topic, though, I want to talk about. Well, are you still there? I want to get into two more topics, y'all. I want to get into Aaliyah Del Rosario, and this don't have to only be about her. We can actually get into a portal talk if y'all want to with other teams. But I want to start out with this because I really like Vanderbilt. I really like the Vanderbilt Commodores. Aaliyah Del Rosario went to the Commodores out the portal, so I'm excited about that. It's just for that team. For her size on that team, and just to see, he said peace out, so he left. So what's your thoughts on that? Are you familiar with Vandy? Be well.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I love me some Pierre and Blake.
Yeah,
and they needed big. They needed.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm excited. So if she comes in and fit, I love when players get opportunities. So obviously she was buried on the bench in LSU, and frankly, I'm gonna be honest, she didn't necessarily look that good.
Well, that's why she's buried.
No, absolutely, she was buried for a reason. She really didn't look that good. So I'm excited for her to actually have an opportunity to see. To see exactly how she fits in with Vandy. What's your thoughts on what she could do with Vandy, and then also anybody else in it? Like, the transfer portals has been heating up. There's a lot going on, and I think they got to make a decision by the 26th anyway. So what's your thoughts on her fit with Vandy, and just where you think certain players like, Malaysia's still out there? Obviously, everybody knows at this point, Olivia went to TCU. You could talk about the fit for that. The fit with Tanai Lonson with South Carolina, just portal talk in general, but starting off with Aaliyah to Vandy. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, do I think it's a good fit? I'm not sure. I know she's 6'6", and so you can't teach 6'6", and so just having that presence, which was missing from their team this past year, to at least clog up the paint, give some rim deterrence. I think she has a good opportunity to make a difference, make an impact. What she can do on offense, remains to be seen. I think she as HD would say, she a little Pillsbury-ish.
A little chunky.
Well, a little soft. A little soft is more the thing. So she gonna need to
Oh,
get.
okay. I wasn't familiar with the term. I thought you were saying, she need to lose some weight.
No, I mean, she probably could stand to trim down a little bit. She not like a Audie Crooks or a Yoka Lee who's carrying, like we saw Yoka Lee, right? She's big, skilled, but like her weight impacted her body and longevity and health long term, to such an extent that she decided to quit playing basketball.
Yeah.
Because if she had decided to play basketball, she would have got drafted. Yoka Lee, but she decided to quit playing basketball because her body
Her
couldn't hold up.
body.
So
Yeah.
big women like that, they're like women. I don't care how big they are, their frames aren't meant for that kind of stress, right? And so then you add the weight on top of it. So anybody that's that tall, you got to really pay attention to your weight,
Yeah.
because it's just going to impact you long term. But I hope, I'm like you, Brooklyn. I want to see all these kids get a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be them, to be their best selves. You know what I mean? And so I hope it works out for her. I really do.
Yeah, I
I
really
hope
like this team. I'm just excited because I like this team. So adding something that can help them be better. I thought this team was going to be like a Cinderella team in the playoff in March Madness. I thought that team was going to be able to advance and surprise people. Obviously, I didn't think they was going to go probably past maybe Elite 8, maybe Sweet 16, somewhere in there. I thought they would lose, but and obviously, I'm not mad at who they lost to because I'm a fan of Deja Kelly. But still, like you said, Michaela Blakes and Camille Pierre made me a fan this year. So I'm excited to watch them for the rest of their college career. So now with somebody at that size, if she could come in and be a factor, I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see how she can help, if she can help.
I think having somebody like that, having somebody like Del Rosario, it takes some pressure off of Pierre.
My bad. Also, hot boy. I just saw this. My fault. Real money. What's up, my brother? Yeah, no, absolutely. It takes a little bit of pressure off Pierre, but where it actually does help them out, because I don't think rebounding wise, I don't think, because Pierre she had a motor similar, not exactly like, but similar to Anissa Murrow. So I don't think she necessarily need help on a rebounding front, but I think where it does help them at is having a 6'6" body. It makes your defense automatically better, right? Having somebody tall down there, and that really depends on Aaliyah now how good she wants to be. Because if she's mobile and she's able to really protect that rim, now, like you said, it really helps them out a lot and makes them a better team defensively. So good. That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm excited about. I'm like you. They had all the makings. That Vandy team, they had all the makings for a Cinderella team. You know what I mean? They just needed a little. They needed a little bit more help. They probably should have won that game against Oregon, but what can you do?
I watched Vandy a little bit this season. They shrunk a little bit in the big games, and it's understandable because their leader was a rookie. So it's understandable where they big games that they played is the biggest game you ever played in, right? So it's like you'll play great, you'll drop 50, you'll do certain things, and then you'll play against a LSU and don't really show up. You know what I mean? The first time you played them, because that's the biggest game you ever played in. You get what I'm saying? At that point in the season. So hopefully this experience catapults them into, the team that's able to handle that type of pressure next year. So we'll see. Obviously, like I said, they players is young, so they'll be back. Their best players will be back, and hopefully Aaliyah, Del Rosario isn't the last piece, right? Hopefully
Right.
they really because another player who left who was pretty good for them was a girl named by, if I'm not mistaken, I think her name was Ayana Moore, and she was a really good shooter. So she left, so they got to replace that shooting.
Yeah.
From Ayana. And then my last topic, and we can wrap the show up on this.
While you
I-
on the portal, real quick,
Yeah,
I'm interested to see Ole Miss next year because they got in the portal quick.
yeah.
They made I can't name all the pickups they made, but they got in the portal real quick, and they got a bunch of players in the portal real quick, like the 2 or 3 players real quick.
Yeah, they're not more than 2 or 3. They got they picked up Cody McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
That was a late pickup.
Yeah,
They got started early.
Yeah, and they picked up a few people. I'm about to pull it up for you. Ole Miss women's basketball. Let's see if we could pull up the roster. So I think they they did a good job of. So I think they put themselves in the talks with the Tennessees and you know, and that level of team. But I'm not sure if they put themselves in contention with the South Carolinas and UConns or what they did. So I'm not too, you know. Let me see. This is like still last year. I don't see none of the new names. I'm not too impressed with what they did, but at the same time, they did make themselves a lot better. I will say that.
Yep. Where you think Malaysia gonna go?
I want Malaysia to go to, and this is only because like they have space for her, and I just think this would be a good fit. I want Malaysia to go to Notre Dame. That's my pick. That's my pick for her, Notre Dame.
How you think her and Hannah work out?
I think there'd be a hand and glove fit, but I think it depends on what Malaysia want to do. If Malaysia wants to be a point guard, then that's a bad fit, right? Malaysia's 5'9", Adana's 5'6", so I feel like they could be a 1 and a 2 tandem. But if Malaysia wants to run a 1 at 5'9", then she needs to go someplace else. Maybe she could go to like a USC or something like that. But I would love to see UConn. I would love to see Notre Dame pick up Malaysia. I would love to see the ball in Hannah's hand as the primary point guard. I would love to allow Malaysia to be a two-way player. Right now, the knock on her is her decision making, and the knock on her is her attention to detail on defense. So she could go there and really like focus on that, and focus on being a 2 guard, and focus on her attention to defense, focus on her outside shooting, right? Because we already know that she can attack the basket and be a problem attacking the basket. Same thing with Hannah. We know they both can attack the basket really well. So I think especially Malaysia for Wally's, with both of their abilities to show that they could be consistent outside shooters, especially with Hannah's size, right? Hannah's not going to be able to live in the paint at a W. She's going to be able to get to the paint and get, maybe some and one, some fouls and all that. But she's going to have to rely a lot on her jump shot. As a smaller guard, that's where you want to show people that you could be consistent at. And the same thing with Malaysia for Wiley off the ball. She want to show that she can, not only can she drive and get to the rim and do those things, but she could also be a reliable catch and shoot player that could play off of another play as well. So, I think it'll be a good fit if they both can do that. And they would just have to get a solid big, build out the team around that. Get another perimeter defender to play next to Fawali. Get it probably another rebounder to play next to the big, and then they would have a solid team, because we already know at any point Hannah could go off at 30, We know at any point Malaysia could go off for 30. And if they could figure out a way to be effective at the same time on the floor, where both of them is averaging around 15 plus, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I think it'll be a good backcourt. And I like the coach as well.
Yeah, I do too. They got work to do though in recruiting and in the portal because they lost all their
A
bigs.
lot of work.
They lost all their bigs. Every big body they had, they lost. Every
I
big
agree
body
with
they had, they lost. Unless you count Prosper, who's really more like a 3.
Yeah. I'm not counting her. So my last point is still about the portal though. I don't like the fit, or it may be because of my lack of knowledge of this team, but I just don't like Keomi McMiller going to Penn State.
Penn State. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt she could have did better for herself and going someplace where she could have went someplace, and I thought she should have went to LSU. So I don't know what happened with that and why that didn't happen. LSU needs a point guard. Keomi McMiller with the right coaching, I think she need the right coaching, but Keomi McMiller needs to go to a place where she could win. Similar to what Tanaya Lotson did. Even though Tanaya Lotson, she kind of proved she was a winner on Florida State, even though they ain't have the best team. I think she showed what she's capable of. I don't think Keomi McMiller really showed that just yet, what she's capable of, because of the controversy she had. With that said, I think the talent is there. So I just think if she goes to the right program with the right coach, a team that could win, it would have did a lot for her profile. But we'll see what she do in Penn State.
See, I don't know a whole lot about. Actually, if I'm being honest, I don't really know anything about the Penn State team.
Yeah, exactly. Me neither.
Or the coach. And I think what Keomi needs, I think she needs a coach that she'll respect enough to be that the coach can hold her accountable. I think that's what was missing from her time at Rutgers. I don't know if she necessarily respected the coach well enough to be held accountable, because she was just doing too much.
Yeah.
She was just doing too much. And especially as a young player like that, I don't care how talented you are, if you don't have somebody that can kind of hone your talents and also keep it under control and get you to understand, like, hey, if you want to be our primary ball handler, you can't be out here playing ISO ball and freezing your teammates out.
Facts.
You can be shooting, you can be driving the lane against 4, people in the paint, and you got, therefore at least 3 players of your own players that's wide open. You don't look to get them the ball. So I think she needs a place where she needs a coach where that's going to hold her accountable to that and say, hey, look, that's 2 in a row. You miss open players. You coming out. You about to sit.
Well, I think it's a balance, because I don't think you ever want to take away a player's creativity. And Keomi McMiller is one of those players that, even though she's your point guard and we're used to point guards playing traditional point guard roles, she could easily be your best offensive option. So I think with Keomi, it's just learning time and place. So for instance, let's just say Keomi's on the team, and let's just say the team is talented, but let's say Keomi is the best offensive option, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think in that situation, what you should do as a leader on a team is for the first 3 quarters to get your teammates going. You feel me? First 3 quarters come out, I'm gonna hit you, I'm gonna get you hot, and then I'm gonna take over in the 4th. That's a mindset thing. So I agree with you on what you're saying, but I feel like it's sacrificing. I feel like on a team you got to know when, okay, even though I am open and I could get the ball, that's our go-to player. So I understand that she's gonna take certain shots where she's double teaming, but she also need to be held accountable to what you're saying and coach to you can't do that the full game, right? There's gonna be moments where you get it's gonna be moments where you get to go ISO and be, the superstar Kiyomi, but it's gonna be moments where you need to stop and get, because it's gonna make the game easier for you now, right? Because now the defense not gonna know how to guard you, because they know you will find your teammate that's open over here in the corner. So I just want to specify with that, because a lot of times when people talk about these players, they don't. A lot of times people don't like how they talk about Enrique. I think people talk about Enrique disrespectfully. Like I get that she shoots a lot, and I get that, but she has a talent to do that. She has a talent to get hot, and also we don't complain, and I'm saying I'm gonna say we don't complain when it works. We don't complain when the shots go in, but let that same player have a Hannah Hidalgo. Let that same player struggle, and them shots is not falling. Oh my God, she's shooting too much. She's doing, but you got to realize those type of players need to do that for their team, because other players on the team can't get those shots, right? They can't, and they won't get those shots. So you need an aggressive scorer. You need somebody to get those shots so that it opens up the floor for everybody else. So I don't want to take that away from those players and say, don't do that, just pass the ball. No, that's not what they're there for. That's not their skill set. Their skill set is to go get those difficult buckets, make tough shots. But you also got to understand the flow of the game, basketball, when to do that, when not to do that, when to find their teammates, when to take the shot. It's all IQ. So I do agree with you. She definitely need a coach that's going to hold her accountable, and she need a coach that she respects, but she also need a coach that's not going to take her creativity away and allow her to continue to be great in what she does well.
Yep, I agree. We agree 100%. Yeah.
James Wilson says it's insane to be critical of Penn State. You said you don't know about the team yet you're critical. I don't know who that was referring to, whether it was me and B Will, but I could say from what I was saying, I wasn't critical of the team. I don't know about the team. I can't be critical of the team. I'm critical of the decision, because I feel like it's better team she could have went to. Right. And I'm judging that based off when the last time have you heard, and there's no disrespect to Penn State, maybe this is the year they do it, but when is the last time you heard Penn State in the Final Four? So because I haven't heard that, I think she had better options to go to a team where I don't want her to go to a team where she's going to lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament, because there's just not enough talent on that team. So it's not about the team. I'm not critical. I don't know. I'm willing to learn. Maybe it was a great decision and I could be wrong. So I'm not being critical of the team. I just think she had better options to go to. In my opinion, I would love to see her on the LSU, who needs a point guard.
Yeah, I think we were both clear that we
he said you made the comment. I don't know what comment you were referring to that B Will made, but I think he kind of agreed with me. I don't really know what. But if you could be specific, James, he could clarify whatever it is, whatever comment you felt like he made.
Well, I don't know what comment I made. The only comment I made about Penn State was that I don't know anything about them.
That's a fact. That's exactly what you said. You said you don't know much about the team.
About Penn State.
That's a fact. Yeah.
I can't speak anything else about them because I don't know about them, and and that's the thing. And I'm a fan, women's basketball fan. I've been following the college game real close this year, and so, but they don't. And I'm a Big Ten guy, right? So, and they didn't show up anywhere like on my radar. How far did they make it in the Big Ten tournament? Right, so I don't know anything about the team. So far be it for me to be critical of the team, because I couldn't be critical, because that would be unfair, because I don't know anything. Yep.
Listen, one thing about the chat is they're gonna hold you accountable.
Oh yeah,
Even if they wrong, they gonna hold you accountable.
you know me. I'm gonna try to align my side. I'm gonna try to align with the right side. You know, if you tell me something, look, if I say something and it's wrong, and you call me out on it, or you correct me, guess what? Guess what that makes me in my mind. That makes me right because if you show me that I'm wrong, I'm going to say, okay, I'm wrong. I agree with that because it's true. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna end up on the right side. So
Right.
by all means, correct me. I don't know everything. I'm like you. I can admit, that I haven't been watching like that, like I have been. I haven't been watching in the past like I have been recently. So I have to go back though. But I'm like again, like you, Brooklyn. I actually have gone back. You know what I'm saying? To find out about the players and the teams that I didn't know about.
Yeah, this is the best way to learn, man.
Yep.
And listen, we're not gonna be right with everything we say neither. I'm okay with learning, right? Sometimes you're
100%.
gonna have a take and then you're gonna learn more information and then rethink your take. So that is what it is. You know what I mean? We all just
But
talking about this game we enjoy. You get what I'm
and people
saying?
look, Brooklyn, people that don't understand growth will call you a flip flopper.
Right.
They say you playing both
Listen,
sides. Like, no, dude, I'm growing. Just
listen,
I'm learning more. I'm growing.
listen. I still remember early, like when I first went on the KSAP channel. Shout out to Big Bro KSAP. When I first went on KSAP channel, I misspoke about something. I had said that Aaliyah Boston won 2 championships in college, right? And now I know she didn't, but I had for whatever reason I said that, and I remember somebody in the chat was like, "See, look, he's a fraud." They said he's a fraud. I said, "Damn!"
Yep.
Like, I said I misspoke on something that you know what I mean. My bad. I got called a fraud. That was
People don't
hilarious.
people, Brooklyn. People don't, and especially in this world of social media, people don't have enough wisdom to realize that you can be wrong and not be lying. Like just
Right,
because I'm wrong about something don't mean I was lying about it. It just means I was
right,
wrong.
right.
I thought I had information and I turned out to be wrong. That don't mean I was
Or
lying.
sometimes, you could know the right answer and still misspeak.
And
It's
still
like
misspeak.
sometimes you just say the wrong thing, even though you know the right thing. It happens.
Yeah.
James Wilson says better options, yes, but players often choose to play for high school coaches, non-basketball reasons. We really don't know her reasons. My point is, it may have been a not. Listen, you may be right, and I'm okay. Listen,
100%.
I'm just telling you my opinion. Listen, they could sit here and they could be in the Final Four next year, and then I'll shut up and I'll be like, she made the right decision apparently, but I just don't see it right now. The same thing I'm saying about Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss did a lot of great things in the portal, and I feel like they definitely made their team better. But do I see them making the Final Four? No, I see them making it to like maybe the Elite Eight and losing. And that's the furthest. Like they probably losing the Sweet 16, or maybe Elite Eight. You know what I mean? But I don't really see them making it to the Final Four because I don't feel like they did enough to compete with those teams as the Texases, the South Carolinas, the Yukons. Right? I just don't see it. That don't mean I'm right. I could be wrong. So with this Penn State thing, listen, maybe it is a good decision. You're right. Maybe it's a non-basketball decision. Hopefully. Listen, one thing I will say about women's basketball that I've noticed, it's a lot of good coaches out there, even on the teams that don't make it to the Final Fours, right? Don't win, don't make it all the way. It's some good it's good coaching out there. These girls get developed. These girls so who knows? Penn State might be a great place for her. I'm basically making a decision selfishly off what I wanted for her, which is I want a deep tournament run. So if you have the opportunity to go in a portal and switch teams, why not go to the best option available to maximize your option, right? If I'm gonna leave my team, Rutgers was a bold decision. The fact that she even went to Rutgers, I commend her. That was bold, right? Because that shows you wanted to build something. And maybe that's what she want to do in Penn State. Maybe she's saying still, I want to build something, and that's cool. I'm not against that. I'm going to still be a Keomi McMillan fan. But my point is, I wanted Keomi McMillan to go to a team that has enough star power around her that's going to highlight her as a player to raise her profile. That's what I wanted. And that's me being selfish. You might be right. Maybe that's better for her for a coach or some type of connection at Penn State. Maybe it's better for her family. Hey, I'm a still supporter regardless. Because I like her as a player. But I want her to see her go have a deep run in the tournament. So that's what I'm basing my decision off of. Simply just because I want to see her play deep in the tournament. I think she had the talent to be. When I look at her talent, shit, if we sit here and start ranking point guards, I'm talking about just talent wise, not how you play the position. Be well. I don't see she falls someplace high on that list for me.
100%.
She one of the most talented guards in the country, regardless of how much you think she need to learn or hard-headed. If we just talk about talent, she up there. So that's why I'm making my decision. I got high hopes for her. I want to see her. I don't want to see her turn into another Chennedy Carter, right? I got high hopes for Chennedy. Chennedy is nice, and it's unfortunate we talking about what we talking about for a guard with this much talent.
Oh man. Chennedy Carter, man, I had to jump back. But Chennedy Carter for me is must watch TV. Is must see TV.
Yes.
When that girl is on the court, it's electric. She does so many things that she doesn't even get credit for. But and Kiyomi can be, a similar type player. She's so freaking talented. I remember watching her on Queen of the Court and in that All-Star game that Paige and Claudia was coaching. Yeah. Man, that girl's a baller. But I wanted to see her go to a team where the talent level of her teammates was such that she could trust them.
Exactly.
And now ball dominant and you want to win, if you don't, this is like Kobe. He ain't passing you the ball if he don't trust you.
And be well. Not only that, I'm gonna piggyback off what you're saying. I want to see her go to a team where it's enough talent around her that people will respect her now, right? Because if you go to a team where the talent ain't there, people gonna say, "Oh, you just put up those numbers because of the team you was on." You get what I'm saying? If you go to a team and you got talent around you and you winning, people gonna say, "Okay, you winning on a team that's respectable, right? You putting up numbers on a team that's respectable." So that's another thing I wanted to see her do. Hey, I was just about to mention this. Hey, Brian Allen Hines, shout out to you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you, my brother. And I want to ask everybody else that's watching, man, feel free to give $1, $2, $5, $10, whatever it is on your heart. I appreciate it, man. If make sure you hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button. We about to wrap up the show soon, but if you enjoyed the content that I was able to bring to you today with my panel with Be Well, with Coach Marcus and Wody Mack, man, hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. If you ain't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. And if you're feeling generous, man, send a super chat, man. I appreciate you. But shout out to Brian Allen Hines for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you, big bro. James Wilson says, I agree with you, but kids often get bad advice and don't listen to good advice. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. And we already know that, like B. Will alluded to earlier, she needs guidance. She needs the right type of guidance. And maybe that was basically based off her decision. If that's what it was, I respect it, right? Maybe she felt whoever the coach was there, whatever the case may be, was the best place for her to like listen to somebody. Like, I want to come here. Maybe that person got the best, her best interests at heart. Kind of like what I forget the name of the coach. Be well, you probably know him, the coach at TCU. Kind of what he was for Helly Van Lith, right? He was like, so it was like sometimes you have that coach is like a perfect coach for you. So if that was her based off her decision, I respect decision 1,000%.
I think that's why Olivia Miles went there.
Yeah, Olivia Miles went there for two reasons. One, she felt like she wasn't ready based off of ACL injury. She wanted another year before she went to the W. And then two, like you said, she wanted to run that. She wanted an offense that she could be the lead ball handler and run that type of offense, because that's going to be what they're looking at in a W. So she wanna get better at running those pick and rolls and stuff like that. So
That's commendable.
yeah.
Yep.
Yo, but listen, that's the show, man. I feel like this was a good show. This show is basically about Kennedy's Carter interview, and about her telling her side of the story. And then also, we touched on some other thing. We talked a little bit about the portal. We talked a little bit about who was it? I'm forgetting. I know it was Deja Kelly. Somebody else we talked about before. I'm forgetting. I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, Leah Del Rosario. But I talked about. I'll pull it up. I got the notes right here. I'm being lazy. I'm being lazy. I got the notes right here. Lexi Brown. We talked about Lexi Brown and her getting traded because she wanted a practice facility. That's crazy.
I don't think that's I don't think that's the only reason. But yeah, that's wild. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you might be right. It might not be the only reason, but that's what she felt like it is, right? She brought that up. She said that she asked for a training facility and got traded a practice facility. So that's just funny in itself, man. I just wanted to touch on that.
She needed a dedicated practice facility somewhere she can feel comfortable when the Crohn's kick in. So
yeah, man. And I'm rooting.
That's a win for her, I think.
Facts. We rooting for Lexi Brown. You know what I mean? That's not something that's easy to go through, and she goes through it. She's a role model. She shows people every day that you could be going through something and still strive and reach your goals and stuff like that. So with that said, though, I want to say thank you to Be Well. I want to say thank you to Coach Marcus. Thank you to Wody Mack for joining the panel. I feel like everybody had good points and everybody added something to the conversation. And I want to say shout out to everybody on my chat, man. Real Money, Gamble, James Wilson, Hot Boy Coleon, Aussie Bass. Everybody who came through, Paige, everybody who came through, all the people who's loyal, who support me every time I do a live. Shout out to you. Yeah, man, and everybody stay blessed. Have a good night.
Hey, Brooklyn.
Yes, sir.
Before you go, can I chime in on the Chennedy Carter thing? Because I want to
absolutely
hear how you your thoughts on my perspective on Chennedy Carter. Because we know all the stuff that happened potentially or allegedly behind the scenes in the locker room, but from my standpoint, I think right now Chennedy Carter is not in the league. And this is because I believe what she said in one of those Twitter spaces where she had meetings lined up with a couple of teams, WNBA teams. This was back in maybe it was January or something like that, December, where she had meetings lined up. So for me, what I think is some teams, because I believe that she was telling the truth about having meetings or conversations lined up with teams. I think the reason that Chennedy Carter is not on the roster at this moment is because she wasn't willing to accept what those teams were offering. And I think what they wanted to offer her was potentially a rookie scale contract or something that's commensurate with what she made last year. So she's looking for a bag. So she's looking to make more than she did last year. So I think they were looking to pay her something closer to what she made last year. And depending on what teams that she was talking to, I don't have this on any authority or anything other than a hunch. I think she might have been talking to the Aces, and maybe that's me as an Aces fan wishing that at the time, wishing that the Aces were looking at her. But having to step into a bench role, like a six woman role, and I don't think she was willing to do that. I think that's why she's not on the roster, because I don't think she was willing to make those compromises. What do you think of it about that?
I think that makes a lot of sense too, especially when you base it off of what she just said in a recent interview, right? She said she keep bringing up the fact that I'm one of the best players, right, in the league, and I had my best season last year. So she's making that be known. So I think because she feels like that, and she is, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying I don't agree
I
with
agree.
her, right? I'm
I
not
agree
saying I
with
don't agree with her, but because she feels like that, it makes a lot of sense. What you saying, that she probably don't want to take. She's probably looking for a certain number in a certain role that teams don't have for her. They like, yo, if you come play for us, we just need you to play this role and you're going to get paid this amount. And she probably don't want to accept that based off of her season last year and where she views herself as being one of the best. But the problem with that is you got to realize, like, sometimes even though we feel like we deserve something when we deserve it, sometimes God plan is different. And sometimes you gotta just go through the process, especially when you see what's happening.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna get paid more regardless. So you see what's happening right now. Just bite the bullet and say, okay, I'll prove myself again for another year.
Yeah.
What I mean?
What I need is to be in the league, and she has to understand the baggage that comes with it, because whatever her side is, she has to know that there's the other side of the story and the narratives going around about her. And
Right.
so she has to take some ownership because she has responsibility in it. Whatever her side is, she has responsibility in those situations. And so I think, you got to have that insight. I tell people all the time, like, having insight into your own bullshit is the most empowering thing in the world to you as an individual, because nobody can call you on your bullshit and it hurts your feelings because you already know. So
Facts.
she has to have some insight into her responsibility in that and say, hey, you know what? I know this is out there. This is the thing I got to deal with. Only way for me to overcome that is to get back in the league and ball out and not have that BS going forward. But you won't have the chance to show that you are a different person in that aspect unless you can get your butt on the court. And you got to make some concessions to get your butt on the court. So,
Hey, great point. I agree.
but yeah, thanks for your time, Brooklyn, as usual, man.
No, absolutely, man. You already know. I'll be back. What's today? Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah.
I'll be back Friday with another episode. So we'll have some more. Hey, I appreciate that. I love what you bring to the content.
It's so balanced, man. It's so balanced.
I appreciate that, man. I'm trying. One thing about this space is because it's blowing up, it's so cluttered, and you can have a bunch of people who just saying that, this is almost like ESPN. You got 100 people with the same takes on every show. So I'm trying to be a little different, right? Like, that's why you don't really see me on too many people's shows, because I want to kind of have my take. You know what I mean? And one thing I notice about myself, I don't agree with everybody. And it's, listen, I got people that I really rock with. Shout out to, and then I was just talking to her a little bit earlier. Shout out to Quita Love Sports. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Quita Love Sports is somebody who I love in this space and who I think is doing amazing things, and I support her 1,000%. But Quita, no. If she make a take that I don't agree with, I'm like, Quita, I disagree with that. You know what I mean? I just say that to say, because people assume it's the same people, right? Like, it's everybody. Like, it's, my big bro K-Sap, I agree with most of the things K-Sap's. Oh, shoot. Shout out to my brother Brian Allen Haas for being becoming the first member of the chat. So shout out to you for that, Brian. We got some things coming. I'm still new to this, so I'm putting together the membership stuff. But I appreciate you for becoming a member of the chat. That's big. That's big. Yeah. But yeah. So I got people that I rock with, and my big bro K-Sap, I agree with him 90% of the time. Me and him just be aligned, but it's times he'll have a take I don't agree with. Same thing with the HD, HD. Me and him agree a lot, but sometimes he has takes I don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, I'd rather give my take on my channel This way people get something a little different because not to say everybody else agrees with each other. I'm pretty sure everybody else disagrees with things people say too. But like I like to like try to keep my take a little bit, you know what I mean? Put it to you like this: if I could break it down,
your perspective.
There you go. My perspective. Look, if I could break it down just in layman's terms for people, I try to be more TNT than I am ESPN. And what do I mean by that? If you notice on ESPN, if you watch ESPN, they got 100 shows from 10 o'clock all the way up to like 11 o'clock, and it'd be the same people on the shows. They become guests. You'll see Stephen A on like 5 of the shows, and he giving his take all damn day. Whereas on TNT, they come on at one time after the game, they get a take, and then they done to the next game. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I try to do with my take. I try to make sure that you get it on a perspective. I might do a show here and there. I might pull up on a show here and there and get my perspective, but I want to make sure my take is on a perspective. And that's why you don't really see me on a lot of shows like that, because I notice like I don't want to be negative Nancy neither. I don't want to be on your show. This is your show where you giving your opinion. I'm just sitting there like, yo, I disagree with that. Because a lot of people on here be having horrible takes. Let's be clear too. You know what I mean? Nobody gonna give me credit right now. The draft is over, but all I had to hear before the draft was how great Cheyenne Sellers was and what she was gonna do and why the Sky was gonna take her and why she was gonna go so high that the Sky couldn't get her. Well, everybody quiet right now on Cheyenne Sellers. Then once they thought they couldn't get Cheyenne Sellers, that turned into Serena Sundell. And everybody wanted to tell me how great Serena Sundell was. And I said, no, she not. I was the one that's saying, no, she not. Nobody going to give me credit for that, right? Nobody going to be like, yo, 80s was the only one saying that. Nah, I was the one that said, yo, Georgia Amore, I don't care about her size. I said, when we talk about this point guard position, she playing better than everybody. I was the one who said, that Georgia Amore got to be the first one to come off the board. I was the one who said that when everybody was like, Georgia, nah, she too small. Nah, hell no. Right? These was the other takes out there.
I'm one of the ones that said that.
These was the other perspectives out there. It don't matter who. I ain't putting no names on no bullets. But I'm just saying, like, when I talk about my perspective and being, that's why I'm keeping it mainly on my show, because it's like the shit I be saying be coming true or it makes sense. But a lot of people like, and I've been wrong. I've been like, one take I was completely wrong on was Sedona Prince. I thought Sabrina Prince would get drafted because she's 6'7", and I was thinking like, you already know me and you had the conversation. Be well. I was sitting here saying because she's 6'7", a team probably should take a chance on. Well, she ain't get drafted. Not only did she ain't get drafted, she ain't get picked up on no training camp contracts either. Yeah. So that's something I was wrong on. So I'm not sitting here saying, yo, I'm right all the time. Not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like I'm right most of the time. Nah, I'm joking around. Hey Brian, I'm gonna talk my shit every once in a while, bro. I don't talk it all the time. Hey, I'm like the Secchi's guy. I don't talk my shit all the time. But when I talk it, I drink the Secchi's. Right? Like that's the type of nigga I am. When I talk my shit, I'm gonna talk big shit. I just don't talk it all the time. Yeah, I mean, but I just noticed that. I noticed a lot of people be having like some silly ass takes. And I'll be like it'd be making me question a lot of people basketball IQ. Like, why would you say that? But one thing I do notice is the same way I say I don't care about being wrong. I could tell a lot of people on here really care about being right.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of those people that if I'm right, cool. If I'm wrong, cool. Right? I'm like it either like I'm cool either way, I'm even kill. Like I said, I might have my moments where I'm going to talk my shit and be like, yo, I was right about that. I was right about this. I might talk my shit and have fun. But for the most part, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just chill. I could tell when I watch some people that they really give a fuck about being right. Like, it's like it's a big thing for them to be right. And it's like, all right, whatever. You get what I'm saying? I'm the type of person that look at this like, yo, especially when we start talking about these people coming out of college, we're just sitting here predicting. We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know who's gonna turn out to be what, and I'm okay being wrong. Let's just say in 3 years or 2 years or whatever, Cheyenne Sellers turn out to be a superstar or all-star. I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here like fuck. Nah, shout out to Cheyenne. Like you got better, and that's what I want from you. But
Yep. I'm the same way. I'm happy.
I'm gonna also
I'm
tell the
happy to be wrong
truth.
about a player.
I'm gonna also tell the truth in what I see, and as y'all can see, I do it with players I like. I like Deja Kelly. I really like. She's one of my favorite players. I could sit here and tell you Deja Kelly could be shut down if you take away her mid range, only because I've seen it, not because she can't do something about it. All she got to do is I already told her. I said on this a few podcasts ago what she need to add. I said she need to add a floater. And you want to know what's funny? This is ironic because they're on the same team or might be on the same team now. The person who I seen do what she didn't is Hermione Turner. When they tried to shut down Hermione Turner busted out a floater. It was still scoring. That shit was hilarious. But she need to add a floater to her game, or she need to add a dribble pull-up fade. If she add a dribble pull-up fade, she would be able to just shoot over the defense when they come try to double her. Because I don't think you can add speed. The third thing would be getting to the basket. But if you're not quick enough to do that, you're just not quick enough. You need that first step. She need that Malaysia Fawali quickness that she don't have, right? Fawali could get around the defense and get to the rim if they try to come trap her. Deja Kelly can't. At least I haven't seen it yet. So she needs to add the floater to her game, and she needs to add the dribble pull-up to her game. This is a person I like that I'm telling you right now, she don't have it, and she could get shut down because her mid-range shot is deadly. You get what I'm saying? Deja Kelly's mid-range shot. Brian Allen Hines says Deja Kelly should have been drafted instead of Caitlin Chin. That's actually a good point. You're right. She's more talented. But hey, listen, somebody, to your point, Brian, somebody pulled up a graphic of Georgia Amore being drafted 5th overall. Was it 5th? No, 5th was Valkyrie. She was drafted 6th overall.
Yeah.
They pulled the graphic of her being drafted 6th overall and pulled up a graphic of what's the girl name that played in Norfolk HBCU. She played in NC State. I forget her name, but she was part of that draft class with Angel and them. I think it start with a D. I think it's Diamond. I think it's Diamond Johnson, if I'm not mistaken. Same size. She the same size as Georgia Amore, and she went undrafted. And they got the same exact numbers. If you look at their numbers, Georgia Amore is a little bit better in certain things. She's a little bit better in Georgia Amore in other things, but they pretty much got the same exact numbers. And one went 6th overall, and one didn't get drafted. So to your point, Brian Allen Hines, it's politics with all this shit. It don't make sense. Some of this shit just don't make sense on why they. Yeah. But that's a crazy contrast though, B. Where one player is 6th overall, right? You at the top of the draft, first round. One player didn't even get drafted, not in the second round, not in the third round, but they the same height with the same numbers. That's weird. You gotta make it make sense. Gotta make it make sense.
Yeah, it is a lot of it's politics and optics.
Yeah, it's politics. And now I could give you a reason why I think it happened. When you take a look at Georgia Amore, she played on a school with a coach at Virginia Tech. She got high profile there, and then came into the SEC. Same numbers, same coach. So she was watched. She was watched a lot. Whereas Diamond played on NC State. She played on, I forgot the other team, maybe Baylor. I think she was on NC State, another team. I don't want to lie. And then she went to a HBCU, which didn't get a lot of the same visibility. So I could understand, like, if you look at the road they took, right? Like if Diamond just played on a LSU for 4 years or something like that, she would have got much more visibility. And maybe she gets drafted, but because of the road she took, she got penalized for it. Same thing with Hermione Turner. To me, Hermione Turner is one of the best point guards, if not the best point guard in this draft, and she went somewhere in the second round. You get what I'm saying? So 100%. Politics, like you guys said. But again, yo, we're gonna wrap the show up. Shout out to great question, B. Well, I'm happy that you added this last little bit to the show. We had some good conversation. I was able to get a member to my channel. Shout out to Brian Allen Hines for being the first member. Shout out to Gamble for being the first person to send me a super chat. Right. Shout out to CJ for before I even got a super chat. CJ sent me a cash app of $200. He sent me $200 in a cash app. So I got to shout that out. And shout out to everybody who showed me love with super chats. Like I said, I can't think everybody off the top of my head, so I apologize. But I know Paige sent me one. I know some names where I got y'all faces in my head, but I can't say y'all names. I apologize, but I remember everybody who sent me super chats already because I'm new. I just got them a couple days ago. So the people who blessed me, I thank you. I appreciate you. But with that said, we're gonna wrap the show up. Like I said, thanks to everybody who graced the panel. Thanks to everybody who chatted with me tonight. And shout out to everybody who's gonna watch this back on the playback gang. Holler at me in the comments, man. Tell me what you think about these topics that we touched on. Tell me what you think about Chennedy Carter telling her side of the story. Tell me what you think about Lexi Brown getting traded for requesting for a practice facility. Tell me what you think about these players in the transfer portal. All right. And tell me what you think about these players that got training camp contracts. Alitza Udsby for the Sparks, Deja Kelly for the Aces, Sedona Prince not getting anything at all. We all know her history with the alleged assaults. Not been charged with anything, but doesn't look good in the media. Plus with her injury and age. Mm-hmm. She's 6'7",
and
still
she's
6'7". Yeah, we could say that she's not that good. People probably feel like she's not that good. So, great show. I appreciate all you guys. Like I said, everybody have a blessed night.
All right, Brody. Peace.
All right, Brody.